Brief starts now.
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday afternoon. Thank God it's Friday. We made it through another week of chaos. And here we are on hopefully one of your favorite channels, the Black Line Brief. Here we are. The reason why we started early is a couple things that I'll get into because I want to make sure that we're live when the video starts. As you guys come in, please do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe as you guys get in and get settled. I appreciate it. Let's see. I need to also post this onto X so people know, because I'm starting earlier than I normally start. And I guess a lot of people have been saying they have not been getting their notifications. Raise your hand or put something up if you guys haven't been getting your notifications when I'm going live. Because that's not cool. YouTube is not being cool. That's not cool, YouTube. Not cool, man. Not giving notifications. Let's see. We're going to say show started early today. Come join us live now. A boom. A gadoosh. And it's posted. All right. All right, you guys. So we have a lot to cover today, honestly. There's a lot going on online. And, well, okay, so to cover first, this is what we're waiting for. One of the things, I have so much more than this, but supposedly this is supposed to be today. But it says 8/22. I realize that. If I were to show you this post that he has, it says right here, 8/21/2026. The patience is finally about to pay off. You're almost there. At 9 p.m. Eastern, the faucet gets turned on. And it is the same video because you click on it and it says August 22nd, 6 p.m. So, and it says August 22nd, 2026. I don't know what's going on. Somebody is either mentally challenged or they're playing games and they don't want certain people to know that it's actually tonight. They want people to think it's tomorrow so that people miss out. I'm on top of it, though. The live chat is going like actively, which makes me believe that it is happening in 3 minutes. And this is, yeah, LLLFFFGGG. All right. So, yeah, his community knows that it's happening right now. And it's probably going to be, I was told by Uncle Tom that Andrew always has set his videos when he does lives where you can't pause, you can't rewind, and you can't clip. I don't know. I never watched him before. So, so there's probably, we're not going to be able to pause it and fast forward and rewind. So I want to make sure I have it up so that we can see this evidence that he's dripping out. Also, where is everybody? No one else is live. Candace always takes Fridays off. Baron did an earlier live today. We can cover some of the stuff that he did on his show, which was interesting, regarding, Brian Harple and Dan Flood's the security team, and some more just really shady stuff that they did that day, which, in my opinion, is just complete negligence, like willful, negligence to protect Charlie. They hired extra security guards that day, more so than before, and tasked multiple of them to do absolutely nothing. Like Rick Cutler in the audience looking shady as all heck. And then we have this other security guard that was tasked to be with Nate Walker, who is one of Charlie's executive assistants. He literally had one security member tasked to accompany him as he walked all around campus that day And it's like, that's a waste of vital resources to protect Charlie Kirk. Um, like, why is a security team member accompanying, babysitting Nate Walker? I don't know. I guess one thing that we can do while we wait, ladies and gentlemen, is have Q&A and interaction time on the front end. We'll also do it on the end of the show, but we got this here. Egyptian jet guy. I like that. That's funny. Is that Erica in the picture? That's an AI generated image. Do you get the sense that Andrew Wilson put two and two together when Andrew Kolvet made the Candace agrees with evil Yahtzee man? Who's evil Yahtzee man? I don't know who that is. TPUSA equals silver spoon brats who have never faced true confrontation. I like kind of understand your question. Did Andrew put two and two together though? Did Andrew Wilson put two and two together when Andrew Kolvet made a statement? Candace agrees with evil. But who's the Yahtzee man? Am I missing something? Who's the Yahtzee man? Let me see the live chat. Remember. Oh, Hitler. Oh, okay. Okay, so that makes sense. So let me go back to this. That Andrew Wilson put two and two together when Andrew Kolvet made the statement that Candace agrees with Hitler. Well, okay. Well, I think that there's like Andrew Wilson doesn't want to appear to be just like totally paid off by TPUSA. He doesn't want to appear to be that way, even though I think that is what it is. And so he wants to appear to be objective. He wants to appear to be honest. And so when, Andrew Kolvet and Blake Neff were literally trying to draw connections like, oh, Candace equals Nazi because she said, Hitler, whatever she said. She never said what they said she said. I said that from the beginning. I've seen the speech. I know what she's referencing. Charlie was with her. That's when she met her husband. Charlie and Candace stayed with John Mappin on that event in the UK. She was talking about nationalism because if you remember back to 2018, those were all the labels that were being thrown on Trump and all of his supporters, right? And that, nationalism became a very dirty word. And she was saying like nationalism by itself shouldn't be a dirty word. And if Hitler only wanted to be a nationalist, push nationalism and make Germany great again, and that's all his aspirations were, like, we wouldn't be talking about World War II. Like, it wouldn't have been a thing. Like, if he just stayed in Germany and tried to make Germany great again. But he clearly had many, many other aspirations that went far beyond Germany's borders. And that's what made him not so great. And so for Andrew Kolvet and Blake Neff to try to actually, what's really interesting is that whole story was created by, I think she said BuzzFeed months and months after. It didn't even go viral when it happened. There was no issues when it happened. And in fact, it was like 6 to 8 months later when I think it's BuzzFeed, some publication ran with it and labeled her a Nazi and a Hitler sympathizer. And that's when the issue really began. And I wonder who's behind that. Barron is still live. Holy smokes. I took a nap to his very calming voice earlier and woke up and I shaved, I showered and prepped for the show. I got a lot done. I didn't know he was still live. I just assumed he would have been ended by now. How long is that stream? 4 hours? When did he start? I thought he started at like noon or something. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't start at noon. But let's see. I need to refresh this page. All right. Well, I'm really apprehensive to start doing the other things because then I will. Well, no, I think I'll still be able to hear it in my audio. Um, mm, so it's up. It's 6:04 actually. So it should be starting any second now if it's going to start at all. Yeah, this one's not happening on X. It hasn't started over there either. He definitely said at 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about today. If he actually was going to set it for tomorrow, he would have mentioned it. And in his own description says, so I don't want to write a post in there asking if it's going to start if it's going to be tonight. Maybe one of you know, like, no named kind of accounts that nobody knows who you are. Maybe hop into his chat and ask him, hey, you guys, oh, yeah, ask him if it's, oh, it says he's coming. Okay. Ashley said he's coming. Is it tomorrow? Nope, it's today. I think I put my maroon shirt on for this. So it's tomorrow now? No, it's not tomorrow. Crucible just said be patient. Mr. E prefers to consume. Okay. I'm not reading that. Drip drip equals tomorrow. No, his tag said it's today. Everyone's saying, is it tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Clearly it says August 22nd. It also says on his X account 2021, moron. Some of these people are so mentally challenged. It's insane. Yeah, he said Friday. I don't want to write in his X. I don't want to write a comment in there because some of these people already know who I am. Yeah, okay. I'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll just move on with everything else I had planned anyway. Because I have a lot that we have to watch and cover. Oh, we got another super. What up? User. Did you see Jimmy Dore's interview with John Cullen? He said the state removed the British speaking agent that testified at the preliminary hearing. That's Detective Hull. What do you mean the state removed him? They can't. He's a witness. I mean, he is a, I guess he's not like a witness, but like he's called to testify. Like, I don't know what do you mean they removed him? He led major parts of the investigation. They can't remove him. Who's gonna testify to all the work that he did? They can't bring on. I mean, I guess they can. I don't know what the law says, but I can't imagine that they can bring in somebody new who didn't do the investigation and they're going to testify to all of Agent Hall's work. No, I didn't see the Jimmy Dore, John Cullen thing, but I mean, I don't really trust John Cullen anyway, but that's a whole nother conversation that I don't even want to get into that, but I don't know how they could remove one of the lead investigators. He's freaking one of the lead investigators for SBI that conducted and, supervised this whole investigation. How could they remove him? Who's going to freaking testify to all the work that he did? So, no. You guys, Tammy, I know it says 8:22. Okay. So a couple things, you guys. It says 8:22 there, but I showed it if you showed up late on his X account right here. All right. Let's see if I can go back. You see what it says right here? Chill stream drip 8/21/2026. All right. And then his post says at 9 p.m. Eastern, meaning talking about today, This post just happened 3 hours ago. And it's talking about today, or else it would have said 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Yeah, so I know that it says 8:22 like up here and down here and on his actual thumbnail, but in what he said publicly was that it was going to be Friday, and then on X it says that it's today. So, I mean, we can give it a couple more minutes. I stopped my Shabbat Shaloming to be here. Did you guys hear that? Oh, you're referencing Candace from the Dave Smith interview where she calls it Shabbat Shaloming. It's so funny. Freaking love Candace. She's freaking hilarious. She should be a comedian, dude. She should do like as a side gig. Not that she needs to do anything as a side gig, actually, but let's see. Thank you for the gift. Super chat. I really worry for Candace. I hope she stays safe. She's going to stay safe. I mean, her husband is high up, connected, like pretty much kind of like British aristocracy. And then she has all of her security. They're not taking any freaking chances. It looks like they're moving into a new house very shortly, and it's probably going to be super secure, and no one's going to know. Water went down the wrong windpipe, or went down the wrong pipe into my windpipe. May God bless everyone here. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Alex. Gut mittens. Am I getting better at saying it? Am I getting better? I guess I could also preview this, which is insane what they are doing at, let's see. Did I not bookmark it? What is wrong with me? I know that I retweeted it, though. So here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Blah, blah, blah. So TPUSA has no shame. They also have no awareness, okay, that they are planning this event. All right. This was just posted 6 hours ago by Turning Point USA, remembering his life, honoring his legacy. Join us 9/10 this year at the UCCU Center on the UVU campus with Glenn Beck, Frank Turk, and more as we reflect on Charlie Kirk's extraordinary impact. They have a website dedicated to this. It's called charliekirklegacy.com. And here is the flyer. They're literally going back to UVU where he was murdered, brutally assassinated, and they're doing a memorial for him at UVU. Doors open at 4 p.m. Event starts at 6:30. You know, I caution anybody from going there with your phone unless you have a Zero Ghost phone. That's or you have a Faraday bag. But then just don't take your phone out of the bag while you're there. Because you'll be grafted into the larger super feed network of the, Show Faith by Works far filing, the Clock Tower X far filing, and you'll be force fed Israel propaganda, pro-Israel propaganda, anti-Hamas propaganda, and your phone will be geotagged, tracked, fenced, all of those fun words. And you'll never be able to get out of it. And anywhere you go, once your phone is grafted into the network, now your phone is infected with the virus. And you go home and it's going to Bluetooth handshake with the other devices in your home and it grafts them in. You go to work, you go to school, you go to church, wherever you go to Starbucks, and if you don't take the necessary proper precautions, your phone can be grafted in by somebody else's phone that's already grafted in, or your phone will graft somebody else in. And it's just like a super virus that spreads until everyone's grafted in. His chat is waiting, and a dumpster fire it is. I agree. Yeah, they think that it's happening today. Is drip drip what was seen in debate? In the debate. No, what was seen in the debate was no evidence. No evidence. I stopped dreaming for this. He's not late. You are 23 hours early. You are mentally challenged. Yeah, they're all still arguing that it says that it's tomorrow, but his ex post says it's today, morons. So, all right, let's move on. It's been 14 minutes. We're not going to wait any longer. Let's go here. I'll keep an update. You guys keep me abreast of the situation as well if you see that it starts, and I'll just periodically check to see if it starts today. But let's go to the beginning of when this happens. Bink. All right. All right. So before we do this, all right, guys, we have 513 people in here, 109 likes. We can do better than that. Please hit the like. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's get started.
This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Friday. That means hour 2 is going to be our Ask Us Anything. And guess what? We have a huge treat in store. Steve Deace is going to be joining us for the entirety of hour 2. So if you're a member at members.charliekirk.com, you can join us and ask questions live on air in hour 2. So get ready for that. I'm all pumped up about that. We love that hour. And hour 1 is packed too. We have Andrea Burkhart right at the start, and we're going to get started with her in just 2 seconds. But we also have Evita Duffy to talk about all the craze that's going on with the Duffy clan as they come out with their Great American Road Trip documentary, and people are losing their minds. So she's going to respond to the controversy. Because he's a transportation secretary, so it's like they think you're not supposed to do these sorts of things. I think it's great celebration of America. But let's get into it. Andrea Burkhart, legal commentator, experienced trial and appellate litigator. You can follow her on Substack, and we recommend you do that. Also YouTube, on X, she's very active. AndreaBurkhart.substack.com. Andrea, welcome back to the show. You know that we crave your analysis because you don't let us down gently. You tell us terrible news like we have to wait till 2028, and then you post those clips or respond to them online and you break our heart further. Just kidding. You're just kind of a straight shooter.
She's not. She's a liar. She's lied multiple times. I've spoken with multiple other lawyers on different X spaces, and I trust Barron as a litigator, and his take on why the defense isn't really allowed to. I mean, I get they can, but there's no point in the defense bringing forth any evidence or alternative claims in the preliminary hearing, because in Utah it's a unique process where the judge, being the magistrate and the fact finder, has to take in all evidence in a light most favorable to the prosecution, and the judge is not allowed to weigh conflicting evidence. And so if the prosecution presents something for a particular aspect or portion of the timeline or narrative or theory, or the case against Tyler, the defense is not allowed to bring in a conflicting piece of evidence because the judge cannot weigh conflicting evidence in the preliminary hearing. They can in the trial, but all these wannabe litigators or former litigators that they have on their show, like that weird guy the other day that was like the bullet was lodged in his spine, the bullet exited his body, and then Andrew had to correct him and was like, no, actually the bullet didn't exit his body and it didn't get lodged in his spine. It based on the autopsy, it fragmented and was in his chest cavity. But that's the same guy that lied with Andrew and Blake, that if the defense believed any of the conspiracies that, Candace had brought forth on her show, they would have said it. They would have brought it up. If they had evidence to the contrary, that Tyler Robinson was innocent and was not the shooter and was not on the roof, they would have brought it up during the prelim. No, they wouldn't have.
You don't pick sides. You just call balls and strikes. And so we get what we get with you. All right. So we got a bunch of questions
Well, that's
post
true.
this debate between Cam Sowens and Andrew Wilson. And there's just kind of a lot of controversy swirling because each new defense or state brief, it raises new questions. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
I think key among those, and you saw this from the debate, certainly, was this idea that, oh, hey, Candace's position was that the parents, they don't believe that Tyler is guilty, but they won't.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna lie again. And now here's the litmus test. If Andrea Burkhart is a true, honest lawyer commentator, former lawyer, podcaster, commentator, her answer will be the deciding factor. Well, I mean, her previous statements are already the deciding factor, but let's see what she says, because he's about to ask her. He's setting up the question like, because Candace believes that the parents never identified him and that he didn't confess to his parents, and the parents have remained silent this whole time. Wouldn't the parents speak out if he was actually innocent? Wouldn't the defense have raised these issues during the prelim?
Talk yet because of strategy, because of strategery. So the question is sort of a
wait, strategery? That's not a word, dude. Oh, is that him taking a dig at Candace for wrong speak?
Larger one. If there is exculpatory evidence at the preliminary hearing stage of this whole ordeal, would they bring it up? If they're sitting on something like the parents actually don't think he did it, would they bring that up in the preliminary hearing?
Sure. So in almost 20 years practicing as a criminal defense attorney,
Wait, why couldn't you just say yes or no? It's a yes or no question, Andrea. The fact that you're going to go on some sort of long soapbox answer kind of already tells me, I mean, I already know what I need to know about you, but okay, are you pulling an Erica? You can't just answer the question directly. I mean, the only thing you forgot to do was tell Andrew, that's such a good question. What a great question. And then you would have hit all the points.
I cannot imagine having exculpatory evidence and not bringing it up at the probable cause stage, particularly in a context like this. The whole point of the preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is justification to believe that this particular person may be involved with this particular crime so as to justify.
Okay, were you actually a lawyer? Okay, Andrea. The whole purpose of the prelim, as a non-lawyer who has watched Barron and listened to other lawyers and done a fair bit of reading, I have all the documents. The purpose of the preliminary hearing was for the prosecution to establish whether they met the bar of probable cause. If they've collected enough evidence which meets probable cause, that is the point of the preliminary hearing. Nothing else. And in that light, right, the fact finder, the magistrate, the judge, Mr. Graff, the honorable, dishonorable Mr. Graff is supposed to decide whether or not that bar was met. Okay. And the defense, all they do is point to the evidence that the prosecution brings up and submits. And they can only poke holes in that and show the issues with the evidence that they've collected and presented. That is the point of the preliminary hearing. Nothing else, Andrea.
Moving forward and requiring the full trial process. So if you have evidence that your defendant didn't do it, isn't guilty, then the probable cause determination is absolutely the time when you would be bringing that up.
Notice how she's struggling so hard to answer this question, and look at her looking her down and away. Andrea, just answer the question. Would the defense do this or not do this?
Because if you can win that issue at this stage, you don't have to take the case any further and assume any risk of a bad trial outcome.
Right. So
is that a yes or a no? Is that a yes or a no?
Just to be clear, you're saying it's not some 5D chess. It's not 7D chess. There's not like some grand plan here that they're going to like drop the hammer at the actual trial and be like, see, we told you this shouldn't have gone to trial. They would have brought this up now. You would see it in the briefings. You would have saw it in the preliminary hearing July 6th to the 10th. Those things would have come out. So other buckets. Yeah, go ahead.
It's extraordinarily unlikely that there is.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. She can't, even when Andrew is like, okay, you didn't really answer. It's definitely not clear. So just to be clear. And then he says a stupid question. And then she goes, well, she's like nodding the whole time, like in agreement. And then she's like, it's extraordinary unlikely. Andrea, are you allergic to answering questions like Erica Kirk is? Do you break out in hives? Do you need an EpiPen in order to answer questions directly? We can get one sent to you, Andrea. Just answer the freaking question, dude.
Some kind of 5D chess going on here. And part of the reason why is because, especially in a high profile case like this, there are two things going on. One, you're fighting the case itself. You're dealing with the court standards, what they're actually there to accomplish, the scope of your right to.
So no. So no.
Present evidence that tends to negate probable cause in order to try to get your client out of this process and out of jail at the earliest opportunity. But this is a very high profile case, and these attorneys are extremely aware that there's also a lot of public attention on it. And so to not strategically use information to benefit your client's position in the court of public opinion in a high profile case like this, it just also strikes me as extremely unlikely.
So extremely unlikely. That was a lot of words to just say it's unlikely. And you still didn't answer the question, Andrea.
All right, Blake, I know you got a question, but I also want to just say, send us your emails, freedom@charliekirk.com, freedom@charliekirk.com. If you have questions for Andrea, send them in. We're going to do a rapid fire.
Oh,
I know we all are very verbose around here, but we're going to try and do a rapid fire audience question. So send them in, freedom@charliekirk.com. We want to answer your questions with Andrea. I have another question. Do you have a question?
You can go. Okay. You can go.
So the other claim here and you saw this in the state's last 19-page brief, which was that, they're kind of going through inferences versus speculation, informed inferences versus speculation. And it kind of made me think of some of the other themes of that debate where they're talking about hearsay, right? So at a preliminary hearing, reliable hearsay is admissible. And there was claims that it was all reliable hearsay, that there was nothing that was not hearsay. Why don't you explain the difference between hearsay, reliable hearsay, and a preliminary hearing? What's admissible and what does that really indicate?
Sure. So Utah has this very specific definition of what reliable hearsay is. Their constitution, their statutes allow reliable hearsay to be used at this stage of the proceeding. The Utah Supreme Court has upheld that in past challenges. But reliable hearsay, it's technical. It's not just anything somebody says can come into court. It has to meet certain minimum qualifications to fit this definition. So there were several things that were presented at the preliminary hearing.
Yeah, so let me get to a couple of these because I just saw one I want to address real quick. Notification on his screen says live in 23 hours. I know that. Did you not see the part where it's labeled for 8/22? Okay. He said it's for Friday, and on his X post it says 8/21. There's conflicting information is all I'm saying. That's why we're not waiting for him. But he just did an X post 3 hours ago that says it'll be live tonight, 8/21 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, I mean, it's obviously 6:28 now and they're not live, but yeah, so conflicting information. But Tiny loves Boston's Miss Cucumber now in charge of, Miss Pickle, now in charge of Turning Point Women's Summit per Andrew Wilson. But where did Andrew Wilson say this? I know. So this one says, Daily Freddo's video today covers the fact that TPUSA is paying Andrew and his wife. So first of all, they were already paying Andrew. My opinion is that them paying him to teach the next crop of debaters was just a cover. It's a way for them to exchange money between them and Andrew for something other than going out here and debating Candace and now doing a show pretty much every day to try to debunk Candace. And it was a way to get him down to TPUSA headquarters so he could ask everyone about Candace's relationship with Charlie, to ask everyone in just a good faith way about everything regarding and relating to the assassination and the aftermath of TPUSA. And it was a way to get him down there so they could give him all of this evidence to exonerate them, like their alibis and text messages and everything else. But yeah, so it sounds like Andrew Wilson admitted that Andrew and his wife are now running or in charge of the women's Rachel will be in charge of the women's summit per Andrew. Watch her video, please. Okay, I'll have to add that to the list to watch later. I can't watch it right now, but thank you. I definitely will catch up on that.
That were not reliable hearsay. And the best example of that was the very first witness who testified was a law enforcement officer who was present. I'm not sure formal law enforcement or just the university police.
Wait, you don't even know who it was? You're talking about Officer Bagley. How do you not know? He's UVU police, but that's still law enforcement. It's not like he's a security guard. They're police.
But was present for the events and testified about his personal perceptions of.
It's Officer Bagley. How do you not know that he was UVU police?
What he observed, how that led him to the rooftop and discover the sniper pad and
the sniper pad. Oh my gosh, Andrea, you're like outing yourself as like the least educated person speaking about this ever. You don't even know that Officer Bagley's UVU police. You don't even know that that is law enforcement. They're like campus police are still police. They're LEO, and you don't ever call it a sniper pad, by the way. It's never been called that. It has now by you.
Basically all of the investigation that unfolded from that. So no, it's not all reliable hearsay. What this rule essentially does is it allows them to, because this is a preliminary proceeding,
it allows them to sneak in stuff that normally would never make it into trial unless they were willing to put these individuals, right? Like what is it? Mike Mitchell, who's the LDS scout master, former police officer that wrote the written statement, which states that Tyler Robinson confessed to him and the parents or something. Like, okay, but the parents didn't write a statement. That's weird. It also allows them to bring Lance Twiggs as a Zoom recording and play it and not subject him to cross-examination. You saw that every other witness that was on the stand that during the preliminary hearing was subjected to cross-examination by the defense. So, yeah, I think that, in fact, the contrary would be true, is that like they brought these people on solely in the preliminary hearing. It's in the record now. And the jurors will be able to reference this as part of their time as jurors there. And that I do not think that the prosecution is going to bring Lance on the stand and subject him to cross-examination. Like, they did that because the 1102 rule, which allows hearsay to be admitted in the preliminary hearing in Utah because it's bass-ackwards. And yeah, hearsay is allowed. Unvalidated, verified statements and pieces of information. They presented their conclusions, but I don't have any piece of evidence that they presented like the validated, like timestamps, metadata. The surveillance footage is freaking got issues that abounds. The screwdriver, the rifle, like all of it is sketchy. We don't even have video of him turning himself in. We got the back of his head. I don't know if I finished reading this. Per Andrew, please watch her vid. I did finish reading it. Okay. Let me skip past her soapbox and get to Andrew.
To raise points that tend to negate probable cause.
So last question, 30 seconds.
Snap.
Silence or limited challenges do not equal concession. That's the other point they're making. That in these defense briefs, they're not saying things that you're hearing on Candace Owens' show, for example. They're not saying it's a patsy. So they don't seem to be arguing that Tyler Robinson didn't pull the trigger or something, or that he wasn't there on campus, for example. So they're silent on some of these controversies or these conspiracies.
That is because also, I don't know if it's just in the state of Utah, in other states as well, but specifically for this trial, that the evidence presented by the prosecution, the judge and the defense have to accept it as honest, like that it's real, that it's true. They cannot argue against that in the preliminary hearing, because everything has to be weighed in a light most favorable to the prosecution. And so in order to argue against some of the aspects of the bind over brief, they simply have to restate what the prosecution said about a specific piece of evidence or their conclusions of it. Like Tyler, they say Tyler, and the defense doesn't argue that it's not Tyler. That means that they agree that it's Tyler. No, go watch Baron Coleman if you freaking need extra help with that. Not now.
They're not. You know what? Hold that over the break, because we got to do a read. It's a bigger question, but please send your questions. Freedom@charliekirk.com for Andrea, freedom@charliekirk.com, and we're going to try and get to as many as we possibly can. Open fire for audience responses. Does the not challenge the substance? Okay, this is they're saying that the defense is not challenging the substance. Is it a deliberate? Meaning like there's silence on some of the central claims. Are they admitting guilt?
No.
Yeah, so I think part of the challenge here is that there is a lot of language being used, a lot of it.
I also think that she is allergic to answering questions, and she says, yeah, and then gives an answer that's not, yeah, not in the affirmative. Andrea, not so good for you.
Equivocation about language that's being used and a lot of conflation of different things. So in their filings, the defense has not admitted anything. The defense has not made any kind of formal admission of guilt or
they did admit that he was in the stairwell, though, right, Andrea? They did admit that it was him on the surveillance video.
No.
I would not count that as an admission. I would call that careless wording on the part of the defense, but I wouldn't necessarily.
This is a perfect example at how dishonest Andrew is willing to be. Without knowing anything, he has already reported on the defense's response to the bind over brief, and he's already stated that as a fact. He's made that a conclusion and stated it on all the previous shows before this episode. Remember, Andrew wanted to lie to make some issue go away for Charlie. And Charlie's like, no, I don't do that. We don't do that. You don't do that. Pretty sad. I got to remind you, Andrew. Charlie's gone now. So Andrew is a liar. He is a liar. And that's my opinion, but I think it's grounded in reality. But Andrea Burkhart goes, it's not an admission.
Necessarily call that an admission. That I think is different from a concession,
Andrew's
which is refusing to argue a position that you might otherwise be expected to argue. And so in the context of this case, what you have is the state arguing there's sufficient evidence here to believe that Tyler Robinson is the perpetrator, and therefore he should be bound over for trial. The defense has raised only the argument that hearsay evidence should not be allowed to decide whether or not he should be bound over on murder charge.
Which is all of their evidence. So all of it. So they're arguing against all of it. All right.
But they aren't arguing that there's any substantive problem with that evidence. So
they're not allowed to, moron, because the judge has to view all evidence in a light most favorable to the defense, to the prosecution. And he can't weigh conflicting evidence.
So essentially, they are not taking a position contrary to the state's argument that assuming the court's going to allow the reliable hearsay to be used, as the Utah Constitution says, as the Utah Supreme Court says, that there is, in fact, going to be probable cause to bind him over on these charges. So they're not contesting that.
Well, I do agree that. I agree that. And I think that the defense probably realizes that there's almost no way that the judge is not going to find probable, like that the prosecution met probable cause. And I think that they're like conserving their resources and energy and efforts for the trial, which is where they'd be allowed to make most of these arguments, present, other evidence, present other possible theories, other possible mechanisms of death, and maybe other possible suspects that were never checked and, looked into. But during the preliminary hearing, that's not the time and place for it. So
substantive position. They are making a procedural
they're not
argument.
contesting
That's what I think is fairly characterized as a concession.
Okay, fair enough. And so that's why so much of it is fixated on the aggravating factors. Okay, let's go to the emails here.
All right, well, we got several here, so let's try to get through these. The first one from Charlene: why isn't there a ruling to stop all the talking about this case online before the trial? I think fake news hurts justice.
Well, that would apply to you guys too, especially you, Blakey Poo. Yes, you're part of the gag order because you were a witness, even though in that X space you were questioned about it and you were like, a witness? I wasn't a witness. Blake, you were there. Do you not understand what that means? You were there. You saw, you witnessed. I know you turned your back before he hit the ground. And you walked ever so briskly to the fountain with Mikey, the miraculous, marvelous, stupendous, the General Mikey McCoy. Neither of you saw really anything. You guys were on your phones, and then you turned around in 0.83 seconds and walked briskly away. Nonetheless, you were there, and you're actually part of the gag order, and you shouldn't be speaking, you or Frank Turek, and yet here you are.
We're doing rapid fire.
Because of the First Amendment, we have a strong preference against what they call prior restraints in the United States. So gag orders generally, the circumstances in which those are allowed are extremely limited. You can't gag the public. You can't gag the media.
All right, fair enough. Much
Great
better,
job.
and notably much better than the UK, where it's very common for them to gag almost all discussion, and we've seen problems with that. All right, we got this from HC. What would be the expected timeline for a trial, you think, at this point? And if convicted, a potential execution if the death penalty is imposed?
Dang, look at Andrew smile to that question. He's like, we got a good chat. They're bloodthirsty just like us. They want to know, when is this trial going to kick off? And in the event of a conviction, when do we get to kill him? Yeah, Andrew, it's all over your face, bud. We know you and Erica, right? You guys really want to do this. Sadly, Megan wants to be there. That's a weird thing to hear her say. She's like, I wish I could be there when I watch the life drain from his body. I can watch his soul depart this earthly realm, because that's a normal thing to say.
Great questions. Trial, I had previously said early 2028. Since we're approaching September without bind over, I'm going to probably have to extend that out now to more like the end of 2028. In terms of if there were a conviction, the timeline for execution, that can be decades. Utah is not known for being quick with its death row. They have inmates currently on death row.
Yeah. People they have to exhaust all of their appeals first. And then there's an even longer process of getting it to the point where they actually carry out the act of taking a citizen's life. And yeah, you're going to have to wait, dude. Yeah, you and Erica, put your popcorn away. Okay. You wipe the saliva. All right. We know you're thirsty for it.
that have spent more than 3 decades there and are still actively litigating their cases. So I would not expect a rapid execution, meaning like earlier than 20 years.
Andrew, I have a tack onto that. How do they determine the mode of execution in Utah? Because it's one of the few states that...
So weird. They're so focused on taking this kid's life. He wants to know, how do they decide? How are they going to do it? We want to know. We're going to have front row seats. So firing squad, electrocution, are they going to do the lethal injection? We just want to, we're getting psyched up about it. Had dreams, we've envisioned it. I just kind of want to know like which one it's going to be. Can you help me out there?
Notably has like firing squads and things like that. How do they figure out how they're going to do it?
Yeah, so these are decisions that are made legislatively. They have to approve methods of execution. And so the primary method of execution in Utah remains lethal injection. However, in the event that the lethal injection drugs are not able to be secured, or for some other reason they aren't able to carry it out by that method, then Utah does allow the firing squad as an alternative.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, kind of morbid to think about. All right. So we have another one from Katie.
It sure is. And yet you guys are just always focused on that. It's pretty morbid. Remember, that's Erica's statement, right? Like, not to be morbid, but my husband's dead 5 days after he was murdered.
Can Andrea please go over the DNA and the degradation of DNA and what they mean by that?
Wasn't it like also fingerprints though? Like I actually legitimately got confused. Were they talking about fingerprint degradation or DNA?
No fingerprints, I think, were lifted. Not that we know about. It was accidentally misstated by Candace and others. Just know that when someone's talking about fingerprints, they were talking about DNA.
The floor is yours, Andrew.
Yeah, dive into that.
Well, so DNA degradation is such a massive topic. I've actually been very much thinking I probably need to do a video on this to spell some of it out. But when you're talking about touch DNA in particular, meaning when you swab areas, not because there's a blood stain there or something like that, a biological fluid, but just because you believe somebody may have physically contacted a particular item, you're dealing with touch DNA. And what you get from touch DNA is highly variable. Sometimes it's very high quality, sometimes it's very low quality. We are only still in the early stages of understanding how humans transfer their own DNA into the environment. So the fact of degradation is pretty easy to observe in a DNA sample. There's literally a shape in the graph that is produced of the results that tells you that degradation is happening. What you cannot infer from the fact of degradation is what it means, how it happened, why it happened, whether the DNA was already degraded before it was deposited, which can happen with certain like skin cells are already degraded, or whether it's the result of different environmental factors that were present at the time of the deposition.
It was deposited, even if it's degraded.
Not.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Yes, that would be a very unscientific claim. How to testify in court about any opinions that would relate to the timing of samples being deposited.
The question. It doesn't tell you when it was deposited, even if it's degraded.
Not.
Okay.
Doesn't tell you an exact date, but degradation. Bro, like the fact that we got to spell this out for you is pretty sad. We all knew that you guys aren't as smart as you act like, but so when DNA is exposed to the environment and to the atmosphere around, it slowly degrades over time. And it's just a logical deduction that something's more degraded because it's older. You can't say how old or when specifically, but you could see a freshly deposited piece of DNA that has much less degradation comparing to that same item where this other piece of DNA is lifted and it has much more degradation. Deduction. I know it's a hard topic for you guys, concept, but it's just try to just use your logic. Older DNA, more degraded. Newer DNA, less degraded. Okay? All right. Glad we got that covered up.
Yes, that would be a very unscientific claim.
Okay.
All right. This one, I'll admit it's getting more into the conspiracy direction, but let's engage with it in good faith. This is from Nelly. Why were items that belonged to Charlie and were part of the crime scene, his necklace, his microphone, a jacket of his, given to Erica? Also, why dig up the crime scene 10 inches down and then speedily pour
Got a minute and a half.
Oh, you got to cut them off. You got to cut. You realize that, even your own audience. By the way, let's look at what this video was at. 7 hours ago, 936 views. So even the people that are there who knows if this person's even there? Well, they got to listen to the answer, so they got to be there, but it's an email that they're writing the questions into. They probably watched what this questioner probably saw was the Baron Coleman, Joseph Scott Morgan, Julian Dory episode, because Joseph Scott Morgan raised a lot of suspicion regarding any piece of evidence that was there that day that got handed back to TPUSA. We have the SUV that was immediately given back, but not even fully processed. Then it got cleaned, went back to the rental company. It got recleaned, and then it got sold and auctioned off. We have the necklace given back. We have clothes given back. We have the cell phone given back directly to Erica. The crime scene itself, the chair was not kept in evidence. The chair that Charlie was killed on and that Terrell stood on, that was gotten rid of. The canopy, the tent, which could have blood spatter. It could have pieces of the road mic. It could have explosive material. The grass was not thoroughly processed to see what elements of, and I don't know, the road mic, any explosive material, or if it was the necklace pendant that exploded, any pieces of that and any pieces of explosive material that were in that. The crime scene was supposedly, we're supposed to believe that this massive crime scene, whether that be the Losi Center, whether that be the SUV, the hospital, any place where Charlie went or the killer was, including the amphitheater, was processed and turned back over in 4 days. What? So Charlie's murdered on Wednesday. Saturday is when the team came and got rid of all the sod, dug up 10 inches of the soil and got rid of it so that the paver company could come in on Sunday and lay the pavers. So, yeah, there's a major issue with major pieces of evidence that Joseph Scott Morgan said, just as an experienced forensic pathologist, he would have made them give it to him for his evidence. And furthermore, Charlie's body should have been preserved and kept on ice, so to speak, so that the defense, if they need to do a second autopsy, Joseph Scott Morgan said he would even, sometimes they retrieve the part of the body that the bullet wound occurred so that they could re-examine it later down the line. And that would have been preserved as a piece of evidence. None of this was done. So, yeah, I'm going to keep going, but hold on. Thank you for the gift, guys. Thank you for the gift. Vasiliki, according to them, didn't he have the gun in his sweaty DNA? Yeah, down his pants, right? Down his freaking pants. And we're supposed to believe that no DNA transferred from his hairy legs. No pieces of, skin rubbed off on it. Remember, they weren't checking for fingerprints. They were swabbing for DNA. Not to mention sweat. His sweat would have gotten on it. It was 90-something degrees. He was wearing, at the moment that the supposed rifle was down his pants, he was wearing long pants. He was wearing a black long sleeve shirt. He had a hat on, and he was carrying a backpack. Boy was sweating. He was for sure sweating. And yet his DNA was still the most degraded. Get the heck out of here with that nonsense. Yeah, Sweaty DNA to the max pants. Just saying. I agree. I concur. Come on, guys. Where's everybody at?
Half left here, Andrew. So
Yeah, so we are, first off, what we actually know about the investigation is very much an evolving question because a lot of this information is, we only know about it because of search warrants. It hasn't come up in case yet, in the case yet. And search warrants are often sealed for a certain length of time. They're also a little bit hard to track down given Utah's filing system.
Can you ask Andrew Kolvet, how did he get that search warrant from SBI? Did the SBI give it to him? Did this Utah State Attorney's Office, the County Attorney's Office give it to him? Andrew Kolvet just showed a search warrant the other day on his show about somebody that was supposedly investigated for statements made prior to the assassination. He said it was the FBI that did it, but it was the SBI. You should ask Andrew how he got that.
Create the crime scene later. But the general idea is that that initial period of the crime scene being secured is as long as it needs to be for police to get what they want. And once they're done with what they need, they return it to the property owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so 4 days? 4 days? 4 days. Okay, 4 days. They had a long break, and then I don't know if, let's see what he says.
Sense of the insane. You're listening to the Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for all those great emails. By the way, you just a deluge of emails.
They lined up fast.
And
You got through 3. You guys read 3 questions.
Andrea, so that was awesome. Hillsdale College, want to tell you about.
All right, so we're done with him now. All righty. Let's see. I don't know if I want to put us through this, but I found this to be interesting. Look at the topics Paramount Tactical covers. He likes Larry Loomer. Insane. He likes Larry Loomer, but hates Candace Owens. I don't know any. Yeah, this is freaking nuts. What I wanted to see was from yesterday. Zach says he kind of goes off after this. So let's see.
Very, very high. Very high.
This is why I'm at 50. You know, there are people out there, especially somebody, clearly he was radicalized. He went from being a normal Mormon kid to being a fag overnight. I mean, like,
whoa, whoa. How do you know that, Gary? Oh, the text messages. Oh, the prosecution. Oh, Gary. What up, Zamet? I want to show you guys this. Look at Gary. Oh, poor Gary got his nose busted. Gary, maybe you shouldn't be drinking. Travis said, Zach, are you getting into bar fights with Gary again? Yeah. Oh, Gary. What do we do with this guy? Let me read a Zamet. Was George Zinn charged with interfering with an ongoing investigation and lying to the FBI? Nope, but he should be. But I mean, if he's one of them, that's why they gave him that CP charge. I wanted to look this up. I heard this statement. Let me Google it real quick. All right, let's see what it says. Wait, let me hit the AI mode and see what it says. I was told that once someone is charged or convicted with CP, they are not allowed to speak with anyone like press, and it kind of just like shuts it down. if convicted and sentenced, an inmate's communication is limited by prison regulations rather than the specific nature of the crime. So no, they are still allowed to speak to press. They're not subjected to a blanket absolute ban on speaking to the press. However, they are subject to severe. Oh, okay. So they are subject to severe legally enforced communication restrictions designed to prevent witness tampering, protect victims, and monitor high-risk offenders. Yeah, that's also a funny way to just say, yes, they are not allowed to speak to press. What does this say? Oh, thanks for the gift. Well, I don't know where everybody is tonight. Hopefully they filter in. All right.
Like, so this was a person that was easily influenced.
The language.
I'm sorry.
How could
Sorry.
you?
He became a not cisgender white male furry. Saw a TPUSA campus debater.
The weirdest, like, cackle laugh from these two. I mean, they are just two peas in a pod. These two, you know, they're just like right at home. They can recognize another fellow, you know, debaucherous, lack of morals and ethics and principles, no integrity, no Christian values in any of them, in either of them. They claim the label because it suits the time of the country right now. People literally are converting because it is more profitable to be a Christian right now than it is to be a liberal. That's what's insane. I don't know if you guys have seen the recent I think it was the pastor's one where TPUSA they named this segment Girls Gone Bible. Okay, it's regarding former OF girls that saw the light and converted to Christianity. So it's a play on words, like Girls Gone Wild, which is, you know, corn with a P. And they named it that on their stage and allowed these women to come up there and talk about their radical transformation. And I don't know, it's insane. But that's what TPUSA is partnering with, those kind and these kind of individuals. Yes, people can give their lives to Christ. All right. Should you be giving them a mic in 6 months and putting them on a massive stage? I mean, it's their prerogative. They could do whatever they want, but I mean, I wouldn't. But we're here, Matt. Can't stand Gary, 30-6 Fed slot. Melton, he did 180 turn after he got the 7,000 club. Yep. I agree. Well, we're not going to keep listening to him. Don't worry. So, okay, let's go here. I have so much that we're going to be looking into, and I hope people here. Let me go here. Oh, cool. Yeah, my brother-in-law fixed it. So on this website, the Charlie Kirk exclusive, where's the one that I wanted to show here? I think it's you're invited to the first ever family business meeting with the Charlie Kirk Show team. So let's see. None of this is, where is it? It said February 9th, 2026. Where's the video though? Please register for the Zoom call. This was, what are you talking about? It's an older video. Oh, now it takes me back. Oh, it's going to make me go, I lost my spot now. Great. Want to do, ask us anything. Hard times create blank. No. Mikey, Andrew, and Blake take an hour. Let's see. Is this video here? This was another one I wanted to look at.
All right. Welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show, hour 2. It's Friday, which means it's our Ask Us Anything hour. We take your questions. If you want to participate, go to members.charliekirk.com, become a subscriber. You help us keep the lights on. We give all kinds of great benefits to our members. So please check that out, members.charliekirk.com. And I just want to say welcome, Mikey McCoy.
I'm just glad to be here. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So by the way, like I can show another one. I'm going to show this, but on this website, they hide. And by the way, it says by Charlie Kirk, even though this is like recent stuff. Charlie's gone. By Charlie Kirk. You can get text messages from Charlie Kirk. You can get emails from Charlie Kirk. It is so gross. They're still saying in August by Charlie Kirk. It's not by Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's gone. But what did I want to highlight on this one? Why everything in life? No, the stuff that has been said. Live special with Andrew Wilson. That was from yesterday. Yesterday. That's not the one that I wanted to show. The state. Yeah, I think here's the one I want to show. Right. The Tyler Robinson hearing, the final wrap up. Oh yeah, because I might want to click on this, and we can look through it to see, because there's portions of the show that they don't show on Real America's Voice that are on here. Plus, there's no ads, and like on this one is the Ask Us Anything. Hard times create blank. Yeah, getting hired without a degree. Is this the one with? Is this the one with? I think this is one that I just clicked on, right? 216 that I have up. Yeah, with Mikey McCoy. I just had it on a different tab. Well, actually, this is a different date. Questions, exclusive subscriber, including hard times create strong men, good times create weak men. Well, that's not the one I wanted. This is the one that we didn't finish from the other night that I want to look at. And then there's this one, because there's a statement in here that I found on X. Let me go to my bookmark, and it is, let me pause and share. And so I want to look through the rest of this longer form video, because this is a clip from it. And this is in, let me see. This was in June of 2026. And they're saying just really good things about Andrew Wilson. So I think the relationship started a while ago, but let's listen.
Andrew Wilson who's a great debater, was actually teaching part of the debate class that we had. So I would recommend checking out his stuff, because he's fantastic, and he uses logic to deconstruct the assertions of the left, if you will. And what's interesting is you realize that a lot of people make assertions, they make truth claims that are based on zero evidence. So just asking great questions is a huge, huge asset to you when you debate. Charlie used the Socratic method expertly in his debates. So you just say, hey, what evidence do you have for that? Oh, what?
Yeah, who taught Candace how to debate? Who was it? Oh, chat, it's escaping me. I know she said it before. She mentioned it once. She said, what was it? Charlie Kirk. Who taught Andrew Wilson how to debate? Who was it? Andrew Wilson. Okay, just putting that out there. All right.
Have you read the study? You just keep probing deeper in.
There is no organization that knows better than Turning Point USA does, that I was trained to debate by Charlie Kirk across country, across too many college campuses. I mean, just hours and hours and hours while we were traveling, note cards, learning how to debate, what not to do. And so it's just like, how dare they? How dare they send me Andrew Wilson? Really, this is the new person that's coaching the students. This is who you think is going to take me down. Goes into TPUSA headquarters in June, comes out, and suddenly he thinks that, I don't know, he's a billionaire, dropping my name. Oh, she's too afraid to debate me. Okay.
And oftentimes, when you're kind of deconstructing somebody else's debate, if you can just allow them to make a fool of themselves, people love seeing that. Actually, if you're doing a live debate, for example, they love to.
Wow, that's very poignant, dude. It's almost like you foresaw the inevitability, right? It's inevitable. When Andrew Wilson went up against Candace Owens and literally made a fool of himself, like literally. Okay, that's the takeaway for sure. Andrew Wilson's a moron and made a fool of himself. So I know that you're trying to frame it differently, but we all watched it live. So yeah, it was on 4K. You know, it was on 4K.
See dumb people saying dumb things and making themselves look dumb doing it.
When you tweeted Erica's too retarded to kill her husband, would you like to explain how you developed your evidence, your positive evidence for the fact that Erica was retarded?
Yeah, sure. So I just think all women are retarded.
I know that's cynical maybe to say. Obviously, we have a heart for the people across from us. But if their ideas are poisoning the country and they're destructive to our country, it's okay to let those ideas expose themselves for being false and ultimately terrible, right? You want the idea to look bad. And sometimes that's going to mean the people that believe in those ideas are going to look bad. So you don't always have to be the biggest genius in the room to do that. You just let.
Andrew, this is going to age really well. Okay. I know it's only been 3 months roughly. This is going to age really well for you. You should be proud of yourself. When you got off this stream that day, you should have walked off and been like, that's my best work. I'm proud of myself today. Yes, good thing the internet is forever, because we'll never let you forget. Okay, I'll be here. Tap, tap, tap. Hey, Andrew, remember what you said?
Them out themselves and reveal themselves.
Which one of the charges against, or all of them, do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty of?
Yeah, help.
The specific charge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think is that
What do you
Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do?
but of the 7 charges that he's being charged.
Yeah. Can we list them real quick? I'll
No.
tell you exactly which ones.
You list them.
Pull them up.
Well, do you know any of the charges that he's up for right now?
No.
Yeah, of course. But
Yes.
I want to
Can you
make sure
name
that we
one?
have them listed.
Okay, remember that. Remember that the direct question preceding his answer was, do you know the charges? And he goes, yeah, of course. Okay. Can you list one? Can you list one? The one that he chose is an obvious one, but he got it wrong, which literally shows that he knew none of them. The other ones are much harder to remember offhand, unless you're Candace and one of us that have been following this every day since September 10th. But he didn't know one. He didn't know one. He took a stab in the dark with his like deductive reasoning. Like, okay, he's on trial for murder. So murder. Did I get it? No, you didn't, buddy. You didn't know a single one. Not one.
Did.
Yeah, but like can you name one? Because my general perspective is that you don't actually care about this case.
You
You're not
don't.
Is
following
that
the
it?
case.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
question. You're
Yeah,
just not
but, I mean,
following it
seems,
enough.
It seems pretty like if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty, I just think that you should. Like,
All right.
Can you tell me one
Then let's do the
charge that
counter.
he's?
Notice that he pivots. He is at least experienced in like how to respond when you're caught in a tricky situation, right? He's asked. So one of the things he did is he laughs, and that's one of his tactics, right? Is to like laugh and mock, and like act like he's overly confident that the question she's asking is not really a gotcha. Oh, is that it? You don't think that I care about this case? And then she's like, yeah, no, my position is that you don't care at all. You're in this for the money. Can you list one? And then he goes, okay, all right, fair, okay, that's fair. List all 7. So he puts it back on her. And then how dumb is he to realize that like if she were to go first and list all 7, how would you be able to answer of what you knew before her answer? You would have to go first to list one in order, you know what I mean? Like, guy's not as smart as he claims to be.
You can really, no, this is a great gotcha.
No. You just got to
Look
ask
at
me,
him.
play
Yeah.
clips out of
Look at
context,
him.
put me in the hot seat. So please just answer
Squirm.
the
This is
question.
fair.
Can
Name
you
all
name-
7
can
since
you-
you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
You name one.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that.
Did you see how calm she was? Okay, sure. Okay, name your one. I'll name the other 6. We'll name all 7 together. and he can't. No. You go first. Name all 7. Okay, moron. Do you know how to do math? Okay, you have to name one first, or else she's giving you the answers.
But can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
Whoa. Wait a second. A second ago, she said, do you know the charges? And you said, yeah, of course. Now your answer is, I think he's been charged with murder. So you think. I don't think you think very well. But yeah, of course is yes, I know. And now your answer is, yeah, I think. Master debater. No, I'm sorry. Reject.
Actually incorrect.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even. This is like
name all 7.
And I
can you
I
name all 7?
I can't.
Then do it.
If you know anything about Andrew Wilson, he's like the Darth Vader of the right. He's
Yes, I'm okay.
Andrew Wilson,
the Darth Vader of the right. No, I'm sorry. That's not true. All right, we're continuing. Don't worry. I got a lot for us. We're having a fun Friday night. It's Fun Friday. Dumber and Dumber in charge. No Candace Owens, just bad gas with Andrew Wilson. Bad gas and bad hygiene. I don't know what's up with dude, but he needs to take a shower. It's even such a funny joke that it was trending on X. I know I had it somewhere. He's like dressed in rags. Did I post it on my profile? I just need to get in the habit of always bookmarking things. Let's see. I can go here. I know I can look it up on here. I hate it. They don't have a good search function on X. And it's just a still image. It's not a video. What would I go to? Media? No. All right, I can't find it. Well, it was just a funny video of him in rags and really smelly, which I think is obvious. Hold on one second. Let me get back to my bookmarks and pause that because I don't want it speaking out of turn. Let me get this off of there. So I don't know I don't know where he says it in this conversation. And I don't want to take us through that whole time of him just trying to find it. So let's go back here. Let's see.
I'm just happy to be here too. I've been traveling this week and I was under the weather. Just happy to be
It's the best feeling when you finally get home.
You get home. I was so exhausted last night. You could probably still hear it in my voice. Anyways, I wanted to get 2 quick notes before we get to questions here. One is that Karen Taylor Robeson has dropped out of the.
Oh my goodness! No, where's the question? Where's the Q&A?
Let's create strong women.
Then strong women.
All right, I'm not going to do this to us. Because I just stumbled upon this before I went live, and I was like, I want to see what's in this.
Excited, enthusiastic, eager.
Yeah.
You have to be so positive because here's especially young generations. They are whiners, complainers.
All right, we're not going to go through this. I have my video that I'm going to pull up that we didn't finish. So let me exit these other tabs so that I don't get lost. I mean, the other thing I wanted to show you, this is what I also wanted to show you guys, is that I have access to stuff that's nowhere else, right? It's an Ask Me Anything, Charlie and Aliens, Smart versus Educated. The campus events are in here. Also, they have ones that it says like from the archive, Charlie on the Bible, but some of the other ones, from the archives, Charlie on why churches must engage the culture. Me and my wife will be spending time over the future at looking through all these. So this is Pick Up the Mic. Oh, we saw that. That's Blake and Jack Posobiec. But from the archives, Charlie and Erica at AmFest 2024. We know that one, though. But the campus events are in here. And so I want to find the one with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk in Hawaii. And so I'll be looking for that. Oops. All right, let's continue.
Clearly, God had his hand and watching over Charlie constantly.
Well, this is the Charlie Kirk Show, and we played. Sorry, we played an opening, but radio didn't get.
And I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail and title because Smoke Boy didn't do his show, so obviously I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail and title
to hear that. And we put together a Charlie Kirk. Which number is it, Blake? Do you have it? We put together just a montage of some great Charlie Kirk moments. And I think it is 443 is the number. We put together a montage for the audience of Charlie in his own words, and he loved this show so much. He loved this show. And I remember one time when I talked to him and I said, who's your greatest hero? And this space, obviously Donald Trump's the president, and that was the obvious answer, but like, no Trump, like, well, who? And he said Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
And Charlie got to know Rush personally. I think we had basically the last big event that Rush did was introducing the president. Yeah,
last two.
Yeah,
so he never made public appearances.
Yeah,
and
he's a very private person.
He came to our event at Mar-a-Lago. So we were one of the first groups to do anything with fundraisers, things like that at Mar-a-Lago. People don't know that we actually did it very small, but Rush had such a personal connection with Charlie, and this was kind of early too, before Charlie was kind of a known quantity everywhere. Really leaned in and showed up.
Yeah, and Charlie actually went to Rush's house, picked him up in the car, and drove him there. And we gave
he lived right up the street.
Yeah, in West Palm Beach, or he lived in Palm Beach. But Rush was his hero, and he listened to Rush. Rush was so influential in just the way Charlie thought about politics. And if you want to know why Charlie never lost the grassroots, he was always so into the grassroots. It's because you emailed him. It's because he looked at all your emails. He looked at all the comments. He could do 48 things, it seemed like, at once. The most amazing multitasker I've ever seen.
When I would be here,
not Erica,
and we'd be on the show during breaks. Even, I'm going to say it, even sometimes when interviewing people, he'd be looking at the camera and yet somehow also on his computer, switching between tabs, texting, emailing, reading faster than you could even grasp what was going on.
Emails he would share like in the middle of a show segment, like right after you came out, or even
Wait, I just saw something. I need to ask you a clarifying question about the super chat. Hold on. So this one, seeing rumors in Pickle's chat, which is oddly going berserk, that the episode is or will be members only. I don't know. Weird. His chat almost doesn't seem real. Spooling fast. Yeah, he's doing this for money, you guys. So he's not doing this for transparency. And so that would make sense. He's going to force people to subscribe and pay money in order to get the truth. And he's totally okay with that because he's a fraud, man. Yeah, and people are calling him out. Yeah. What a scumbag. No surprise though, right? I mean, are you surprised? Are you entertained? Are you not entertained? I forget the Russell Crowe line. Okay, this one is, have you seen the interview with Tyler Bowyer and Ron Coleman? Is that the one from 3 years ago on the Ron Coleman show? This is what I had pulled up. So Tyler Bowyer and Ron Coleman from 3 years ago. or this one. Oh, that's just a short clip from that episode. Is this the one you're talking about? They pulled me, but it's 50 minutes and I haven't pre-watched it, so I wouldn't know like what portion is a good portion to view. And so unless you have the specific timestamps, this would be added to my to-do list of things to view and prepare for a later show. But yeah, unless you can give me exact timestamps specific of a short clip that you want us to watch. But yeah. All right, let's continue here.
Like in between someone else giving an
You're
answer.
like, oh, Jack, you got to check out this email.
Here's this email I got from.
Look at this. Look at, and you're like reading the last 3 things that he sent you.
No,
and
he's always 2 steps ahead.
And
It's
his
annoying.
speed was, I have no idea how he did it. And these are, and what's crazy too is you could see it would be like, oh, hey, I got something from the Speaker of the House. Oh, here's the president's son. And then like, here's a guy I met walking his dog and he needs a ballot. Tyler, make sure this guy gets a ballot. You know, like it didn't make any difference to him who he was talking to.
But he never lost sight of the grassroots. And one of the guiding lights for that, and we set up Freedom at Charlie.
Yeah, but you guys have. You guys have. You didn't even endorse Thomas Massey. You've completely lost sight of the grassroots. All the donors that pulled out in the weeks and months leading up to the assassination came back. They came swarming back and they doubled down their donations because Erica's in charge now.
Kirk.com. And please send your tributes to Charlie, your thoughts, your prayers, anything that's on your mind to freedom at charliekirk.com. And I will do my best to read them.
No.
Blake, you're going to help read them. And Jack and Tyler. And we want to see what you have to say.
Empty
to
promises.
charliekirk.com. And Rush always had his email dialogue with his listeners. And Charlie took note of that and that it kept him close to the people because this.
And Erica Kirk took note of Charlie Kirk taking note of that. And that's one of the promises that Erica Kirk has made to her Bible in 365 members. And yeah, she doesn't read your guys' emails. None of these people do anymore. They said rapid fire. We're going to answer questions. They read 3. The third one was one that they didn't like and they quickly moved on. You know, they're not reading any of the emails anymore.
World can get very insulating, and Charlie never let that happen. That's why he went to college campuses, because he learned and he knew and he saw what kids were really thinking.
So who's doing that now? If that's one of the things that made Charlie Kirk so great, which I agree, who's doing that now for you guys? Nobody. And now the people that are going to be doing that are trained by Andrew freaking Wilson. Give me a break.
Always made such a point to stay so close to the public, even though he was so stratospherically like famous. We couldn't take him anywhere. I mean, it was really at that point of stardom and fame that we couldn't take Charlie anywhere. But it all started with a love of the spoken word and what Rush Limbaugh told him. And he would take lunch breaks from school just to listen to Rush Limbaugh. And so to have this show and to be behind the microphone was one of the greatest honors of his life. And he did not take it for granted. He loved it.
No one would watch the Blake Neff show and the Andrew Kolvet show because it's Charlie Kirk show in name only. In name only. Nothing else about that show is Charlie Kirk anymore. And nobody watches. Nobody watches them. Okay. So like Charlie used to get thousands of people live. I was there. I saw. And active engagement. He would ask the audience to email in. He'd get like 3,000 emails like that. After his videos would post, they would just multiply the views and he'd be at 60,000, 100,000, 200,000 views. Okay. Now, since Charlie's gone, they have like 50 people, less, maybe 75 live. At the end of the video, at the end of a 3-hour live, which it should be multiplying the live views, it's at like 100, 200. And 7 hours after the live video is posted, it's at 900 views. That is really bad. That is really, really bad analytics for a channel that has hundreds of thousands, millions of viewers or subscribers. Nobody's watching them anymore. They tune in for the dumpster fire. It's the bad car crash effect. That's why people tune in.
Saw it as a way to pipe the
all right, they're about to play a bunch
vanguard
of clips,
of the current thinking on the current
they're gonna put
debates
music
into the
over it,
zeitgeist.
so hold on.
That's a great job, guys.
Really good job.
Fake criers. Oh, they're emotional. He's not. They're not even faking it, but these two are faking it. Fakers.
We miss him.
That last shot
I
of him
miss my
walking
friend.
off stage.
I miss my friend. You know, one of the things that Charlie,
you miss your boss,
kind of interesting early in Charlie's career was he wasn't. He's a prolific speaker.
Keep in mind, this is 2 days after. Yesterday, they just loaded the casket in and out of the hearse. Okay, they just flew back from UVU yesterday. This is on 9/12/2025. And this is the best acting they could give us, you guys. At least Jack's not even trying, right? Jack's not even trying. But the other three are trying really hard and failing soap opera acting.
Obviously, he's a genius on stage, but he wasn't really interested in, you know, spotlight.
Nope, but
A
Erica
really
is.
interesting piece to him was that it was, I think that's kind of like almost like I was talking with people, and the best analogy to Charlie was that he was very much in the come follow me spirit of Christ. I think that's what the most Christ-like thing about him was that people wanted to follow him. Sorry, I just can't get through all this. But he didn't want spotlight. And I think that was
but you guys do
part of his. And so when I had suggested with our events team that we do bigger things, that we do consider, because we have more people who want to show up and we have more kids and all that.
So you guys wanted it bigger. You specifically, Tyler Bowyer, wanted it bigger, better, more money, more views, more fame, more influence. Charlie wasn't even interested in that. That's all you guys.
It wasn't about that for him. It wasn't. People watch these things and they're like, we went rock star. We went full rock star on Charlie Kirk, and a lot of that is thanks to Andrew. I mean, without a doubt, you know, we give Erica 100% made a rock star.
That is so gross. They just said Charlie Kirk going rock star is thanks to Andrew Kolvet and Erica freaking Kirk. What world are we living in? What world are they living in? 2 days after the assassination, they're saying that the credit goes to Andrew Kolvet and Erica Kirk. What the actual heck?
I give you more credit for that.
Oh, no. No. I give you more credit. No, you. No, you. You get the credit. No, you get the credit. Okay, fine. I'll take the credit. Freaking loser.
Forced him to do it, and then eventually he embraced it. But
Forced him to do it. Yep. That sounds about right. Forced him to do it. Let me just, what are we at? We're at 44:29. Let me just back up a smidge.
Without a doubt, you know, we give Erica 100% made a rock star.
I give you more credit for that because
Andrew,
you forced him to do it, and then eventually he embraced it. But
he wasn't interested in that.
But he also.
We need to clip that. Okay, that needs to be clipped. Andrew Kolvet said Tyler Bowyer forced Charlie to do it. Okay, that eventually he freaking just embraced it. He goes, fine. Gosh, dude, shut up. Leave me alone. Fine. Tyler Bowyer. That checks out.
So, like, wasn't your sort of like central casting character to do it?
No.
And you made him embark out on a much bigger vision.
But this is the point with Charlie, is that he was a very humble person. And I don't want that to change with
which none of you are. This is why it's important. So for people that are like, why are we watching them? Why are we listening to them? That's why. Because they out themselves. Okay. And because it's important to know not everyone has gone back and listened to the different things that they've said and broken it all down. This is why. This is why.
Like how people start to take the memory of Charlie because he's big. He wasn't interested in what the stage looked like or like who was there, what the spotlight looked like. He just wanted to tell the truth. He just wanted to tell people what they needed to hear. And he was really good at that. Really good at that.
Yeah, and you suck.
But everything else was built around him for the right reasons. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like I'm like spitting like tears everywhere and everything else.
No,
like
not really. You're trying.
But he is his legacy is going to be what you said, Andrew, is that he was a incredibly humble person that was thrust into something that was so much bigger than all of us, so much bigger than him. But he was the perfect person for the perfect time.
He always told young people, be a part of something bigger than yourself. And he is the most iconic example of that I think any of us can imagine. And we're going to take a break from radio. We'll be right back on the stream.
Hold up. Let me see what they come back to in a second. They just play the music. I have to make sure that some of these clips don't have music added to them. Let me go here.
Iconic example of that I think any of us can imagine.
Oh wait, were they didn't have audio playing on that?
Take a break from radio. We'll be right back on the stream.
Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to go backwards that far. So it's after that they come back there.
Something to remember Charlie by.
I've been getting message after message, email, comment, this huge outpouring of people saying, and because Charlie, as we all know, he loved t-shirts, apparel, hats.
He was like, get me one that says that. Get me one that says that. And like literally, the team would screen press them almost on a 2-hour turn.
It's because he understood that is a physical, real messaging platform that you can wear in the real world, in the real space.
That would be seen
billions
of times in Charlie's instance.
And he wanted, so whatever the message that he wanted to send or what he was thinking about would usually be what he would wear. And there'd be times where he'd have, a different one on 5 days a week if you watch the show. And that was all very, I just didn't mean to say it's very deliberate. It was not like some random thing.
No. He loved his different shirts. And so please put them back on screen, guys.
So
here they are. And they are available for purchase.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to, as many as everybody wants. We don't have them made yet. So please be gracious with us. We're going to get them out as fast as we can.
Yeah, got to sell it. Got to sell that merch.
CharlieKirkStore.com, CharlieKirkStore.com. And I think the team did an amazing job with them. And the middle one is I am Charlie Kirk.
Couldn't even wait a day.
So many people saying that.
Yeah. And it's
taken off.
It's a beautiful testament and I love it. And I want one. And the other one is I'm just humbled by God's grace. And that, of course, was from election night, November 2024, when Charlie got news that Pennsylvania had been called by Fox News for Donald Trump, and that he would be the 47th president of the United States.
Right,
and that,
right in this room.
That viral video, it happened right here.
Right in this chair.
And Charlie put his hands up to his face, and a man who doesn't cry very often got misty-eyed, and he gave all the glory to God, and I love that, and I'm so glad that they picked that moment. And then the other one is the Freedom shirt, and it has the date that it happened, and that's the shirt that he was wearing. And we put the Turning Point hook on that sleeve as well. And so if you want to honor Charlie, and obviously you want to help the show, that would be amazing.
Can I shout out you guys real quick? I mean, we have so many good people who work for Charlie, his show, his personal side. people don't talk about this. I was careful not to talk about this because Charlie, again, didn't like the spotlight of it all. But part of the reason why this show exists is because Charlie didn't want to do things that would cost money from Turning Point. For years and years and years and years, Charlie didn't take a salary from Turning Point. He paid himself. I know this because I was the one that had to approve payrolls at Turning Point for 7 years. He paid himself like $30,000 a year, then a little bit.
He didn't take a wage for the first 5 years, and then his first wage I think was like 20.
Tiny. It was tiny.
15,000 the first year.
It was
20,
tiny. And 30, I know that because mine was tiny too when I came over. It was
right.
And then part of the show was that he was able to give back, so it cost Turning Point nothing for Charlie to run Turning Point.
Yeah, people don't know this. Charlie gave. There was this stupid AP article I'll never forget where they tried to.
I don't even want to give it.
I know, but they tried to make it sound like Charlie was somehow taking money from donors or something, or fleecing the donors. But here's the truth: Charlie paid back his salary and then some back to Turning Point every year. He donated back all that. Here's 1 second, guys. Gonna welcome back radio.
Okay, welcome back.
I mean, there's great people that people admire a lot. Rush is one of those people, but Rush didn't build in his spare time a Turning Point USA, a Turning Point Action, and all that, right? Like Charlie did all of that, gave it all back essentially for that. And then we have.
Let me read this super chat that came in. They went to the same cry school as Eric Kirk that she attended. Yeah, same acting school. Fort Huachuca. How to be a Christian in 6 months.
The whole point of why I'm saying this is we have so many good people here at the show that work here that produce it to get truth out. Because again, what that Charlie was interested in wasn't spotlight.
Is that the people he
fired? Getting the truth out. It was doing something bigger than himself. And every single person that's here that are back behind the glass right now.
That are not there anymore. They're not there anymore. Freaking fired them. What up, Zamit? The OJ's 1972 hit predicted TPUSA True Nature backstabbers or backstabbers should be the new name. Stop using Charlie Kirk's name. Yeah. Yep. 1,000,000%. These people are the ultimate grifters. They have no right to say that anybody else is making money off Charlie Kirk. Do you guys own a mirror? Do you look in the mirror? I know Andrew does. Blake doesn't like to be reminded of that, the fact that he's bald, old, and ugly. Tyler doesn't like to look in the mirror because he's Tyler and he will probably break it and the demons will cry out when he looks in the mirror. But you guys and Erica Kirk have made more money than anybody else combined off Charlie Kirk's name, likeness, legacy, his life, his death. You have no right to tell anyone about making money off of Charlie at all. And Candace has never made money off of Charlie Kirk, right? She's investigating his murder. Okay? Do you not understand that? The job that you should be doing, you and Erica Kirk should be doing what Candace is doing. She didn't even want to have to do this. She hoped that the truth would just have come out. Like all the people in the FBI and this administration, I guarantee you when it went down, like there was not a part of her that was like, oh yeah, they're totally gonna, fabricate who did this and do a botched investigation and create a patsy like JFK. And I'm going to have to take the lead on this. Like, no, it did not cross her mind. In fact, like she was like talking good about you guys in the beginning. But then as you guys continue to come out there and like lie and act so weird, she was like, I guess I have to do this for such a time as this. God's given me this platform. I am obviously in pursuit of truth and these people aren't. I'm smart. I'm articulate. I guess it's up to me. Fine. If the shoe fits, I'll do it. I'll do it because you guys aren't. Backstabbers. Okay, I thought so. Thank you. Thank you, Zamet. Backstabbers. So now I'll read it, right? The OJ's 1972 hit predicted TPUSA True Nature. Backstabbers should be the new name of stop using, or should be the new name. Stop using Charlie Kirk's name. Yeah. Erica Kirk put in for trademarks to his signature, to his name, to his likeness. He dies and she's like immediately thinking money, 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 money. How can I make money? Got to make the money. How do I pay for all of these Allo trips without the money? How do I fly on the private jets if it's not for the money? How do I pay for my new $1 million mansion without the money? I need to pay Michelle McCoy to watch my kids. I have to have money. Got to sell the merch because I need the money. I love the money. I got a text from Turning Point 3 days ago. Never gave money. Haven't been in a building in years. I think the GEO is C next to G. No. I think the GEO they got from contact info in my daughter's cell. Wait, what? What's the GEO? Granny loves Jesus. What does GEO stand for? Generative engine optimization. Most commonly stands for generative engine optimization in digital marketing, geostationary Earth orbit in satellite technology, or serves as prefix short form for geography. No, that's not it. I think the generative engine optimization, maybe global economic outlook. Somebody help me. Help me. Can I buy a vowel? Can I buy a vowel? Let's see. Did someone put geofencing? Oh, okay, the geofencing. Everyone. Okay, I'm slow. Sometimes I'm slow. Location finding. Yeah, the geofencing, the geotagging, tracking. Yeah, the show faith by works, the far filing, the clock tower X, Superfeet technologies. We will find you. We're watching you. That's why everybody needs to get a freaking Zero Ghost phone. I'm telling you. The time has come where we all need to protect our information. You know, it's obvious now that they are watching us. They're tracking all of us and they're selling it to the highest bidder. And we all know who one of the highest bidders is. Israel. Charlie came to Candace in a dream. She feels responsible not to have been able to protect her little brother. Her cause is pure and righteous. Demons are afraid of her. Did it cut you off? Demons are afraid of truth. They're afraid of accountability. They're afraid of Christ. They're afraid of Christians. They're afraid of Candace. They're afraid of us. And they should be. They freaking should be, because we're coming for you. And while Candace is on geolocation too. Yeah. Okay. I see. Wait, I told Tyler to lose my number. Wait, Tyler had your number, Lisa? Well, because Candace actually told Mark Meckler to lose her number. I remember. Yeah. What was I gonna say? I forgot. It's all good. I'll remember it. It always comes back.
and that are in this building that are across campus here at Turning Point headquarters.
God, they're so bad at this.
Join Charlie on that vision and are part of that. And so with that, we talk about the shirts and everything else. Please support, this mission to continue Charlie's voice with Charlie's show, because there's so many good people here that have done that. And I know Andrew's.
Erica looked at me yesterday and she said, the show has to keep going and Turning Point has to grow even bigger. And I hope I'm at liberty to say that. I think she would want me to say that.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what the future holds for everything, at least, with fine detail, but we know that will happen, that we will honor that. And I know Charlie would want that to happen.
That's the only way to honor Charlie is
the only way to, I got to back this up, y'all, because I was reading an email, 5231. I think it's going to be we'll start at 51, because he says something crazy and I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss being able to address it. Okay, wait, so let me read the rest. Her cause is pure and righteous. Demons are afraid of Candace. Oh, okay. Yeah. Afraid of Candace. Candace's motivation is love. Demons fear it. Yep. Zamet, always on point. Always on point, Zamet. All right. Let's listen. Let's pay attention to the words.
I mean, there's great people that people admire a lot. Rush is one of those people. But Rush didn't build in his spare time a Turning Point USA, a Turning Point Action. And
I went back too far.
In his spare time, a Turning Point USA, a Turning Point Action, and all that, right? Charlie did all that, gave it all back essentially for that. And then we have the whole point of why I'm saying this is we have so many good people here at the show that work here that produce it to get truth out, because again, what that Charlie was interested in wasn't spotlight. It was getting the truth out. It was doing something bigger than himself. And every single person that's here that are back behind the glass right now and that are in this building that are across campus here at Turning Point headquarters, join Charlie on that vision and are part of that. And so
now they're fired.
With that, we talk about the shirts and everything else. Please support, this mission to continue Charlie's voice with Charlie's show, because there's so many good people here that have done that. And I know Andrew's.
And Erica
looked at me yesterday and she said, the show has to keep going and turning.
That, you guys realize he rephrased it. That is a Hollywood phrase. The show must go on. Yeah, I believe Erica did say those words. The show must go on. Yep. How do you keep making money without the show? How do you move up the ladder so that you can be put on the 2028 Vance Kirk ticket unless the show goes on and she gets all the spotlight and notoriety and fame? The show's got to go on now that Erica's here. Oh, we can't let it go down. We got to grow it. We got to get bigger. Charlie wants it. I know. He said it. He told me. These guys have no shame.
Point has to grow even bigger.
Even bigger.
And
even
I hope
bigger.
I'm at liberty to say that. I think she would want me to say that.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what the future holds for everything, at least, with fine detail, but we know that will happen and that we will honor that. And I know Charlie would want that to happen.
That's the only way to honor Charlie is for everything to get bigger into.
The only way to honor Charlie, per Tyler Boyer's mouth, is that everything has to get bigger. You know what comes when things get bigger? More money. Money. We got to get bigger because we want more money. These guys just have no freaking.
Again, that point, which is that this is bigger than any singular person.
You're right. You got to control the
but
world.
Honoring Charlie's memory permanently with making Turning Point bigger, and the mission, which is activate as many human beings as possible to do the work, to do the Lord's work, and to do the work.
The
to save
Lord's
the Republic.
work.
Put those shirts back up for the radio. If you can go to charliekirkstore.com. Charlie Kirk Store.
I am Charlie Kirk. I don't think they should have made that shirt. And I don't think they should be selling the Freedom shirt either, honestly. It's associated with his murder. it's they shouldn't be selling that shirt. It should have got retired. It should have. They never sold it before. He wore it that day. They didn't have it ready to be sold like they normally do all the other shirts. What does that one say? I am just humbled by God's grace. Yeah, so that's Charlie Kirk. That's an image of Charlie Kirk, the one on the left, when Charlie Kirk was crying when Trump got elected. And that's blasphemous because Trump lied to Charlie. Trump lied to Charlie and all of us, and those tears were shed in vain. Okay, because part of his demise was actually Trump getting elected. Charlie cried those tears of joy, of relief, because he thought, and I believe wrongfully, I don't think he was going to be prosecuted and charged by the left. I think that was a lie that people around him told him, so that he was driven so hard to do everything possible to get Trump and JD Vance elected. And he cried those tears because he thought it meant he was safe. He was safe from persecution, prosecution, and death. And look how that turned out. A year after he's murdered, while Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi are running the organization, the Attorney General's office, and then the FBI, and then Trump and JD are at the highest parts of government at president and vice president, and he still gets murdered. So the thing that he thought was going to keep him safe actually led to his actual murder. So I think it's crazy that they're selling that shirt. I think that's insane, honestly. Thank you for the gift, Moxbox. Matt, your tips line is not working on your webpage. Correct. Good point. Me and my brother-in-law were just looking at that today. Thank you for reminding me. Send it to my email, theblacklinebrief@gmail.com. That's the tip line. That's the tip email. It's on my YouTube page. Yeah, send it there for now. We're trying to figure out on the back end why that's the only thing not working. We don't understand, which let me pull a couple things up for you guys. So let me share this. So this is the Black Line Brief web page. Hold on, I got to get rid of this. And what will eventually be on here. So yeah, the tip line is not working. We're trying to figure it out. Okay. This is in its early stages, but the newsletter will eventually be a daily or weekly thing. And then we have the mission that's on here. All right. Episodes get uploaded daily, so they're on here as well. And then the homepage. But yeah, so the tip line will be available. And as of right now, you don't have to subscribe to view the content, but eventually we will, because this will be without commercials. We haven't figured out what that price point is. So right now you get to watch it for free, but watch it here. It helps the algorithm. You don't have to pay anything, but at least watch it here. And then the other things I wanted to show you guys is, and we're not done, but it just, that reminded me of the different things I want to show you guys. I think it's in my email, actually. Let's see. So, okay, yes. So here is the Black Line Brief Clips YouTube page. We only have 40 subscribers. We need to get people over there and subscribing to this. Please do so at your earliest convenience. Not right now while we're live. And then we also have we also have a TikTok page if people are on TikTok. All right. So please subscribe here as well. And we have our Spotify account. So please subscribe or follow, whatever the verbiage is here on the Spotify account. And then we have as well, let's see, how can I get there? Our Twitch, which is like live right now, channel. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. That's going to be obnoxious. Hold on. Let me pull that off. But the Twitch is the Black Line Brief podcast. And then our Kick account similarly is, how do I view channel? Oh, and it likewise is just, it has the stream right now. And so it's just going to show the stream. But yeah, so that's another place to view us. All right. And then I of course have my X account, which if you guys are on X, please subscribe as well. All right. Okay. Now we can get back to what we were doing. Let's go back here. Is it on the page? It's not. There it is. All right.
.com. We have 3 options. The election night shirt is a drawing of him putting his hands on his face after he found out that Trump was going to be elected the 47th president. And he said, "I'm just humbled by God's grace." And that's a beautiful one. He is, "I'm Charlie Kirk." And people love that. I'm Charlie Kirk. I've been seeing that everywhere. And then we have the shirt, the Freedom shirt that he was wearing, and with the date on it, and the turning point hook also on that sleeve.
I think that message in the center shirt there, "I'm Charlie Kirk," that speaks to what Tyler's talking about. It's the Charlie Kirk spirit, right? I was saying this yesterday on an interview, who's the next Charlie Kirk? Like, well, there isn't a next Charlie Kirk, but Charlie, if you asked him that in public, right, he would say, you go get a megaphone or, a chair and go to your local park and set up a folding table on camp, whatever it is, right? Whatever public place you can be, and go do this too. And so it doesn't mean,
oh, that's a funny one. I got to read that comment that just came in. How about a shirt that says, "I'm a shilly for Philly. Money, money, money." Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing too. Like, eventually we are getting merch, you guys. It's just taking a while to find the right vendors that we want, because we're going to have like mugs and shirts, sweaters, and all that. And that we'll have a YouTube store where people can get merch, but also it'll be on the website as well. All right. Looks like a lot of people left when I started showing my different channels where to view from. They didn't like that very much. All right.
About him, right? It's about you take that Charlie Kirk spirit and go and be the next one, and go set up your chapter or go set up your thing and go be that.
One thing I wanted to check out is this was of Frank from 8 months ago. No one has seen this one, and I just want to see the parts where Frank is talking.
She's just trying to find the truth. Okay, fine. But when you say things like, there's only 3 things that can happen in a tragedy, this is what Candace said, you can go toward the tragedy, you can run from the tragedy, or you can freeze. And I can categorically tell you, Eric, that's false. Because in a tragedy, first of all, you don't know how you're going to react unless you've been trained beforehand. And I was in the Navy, which, by the way, stands for Never Again Volunteer Yourself. But in the Navy, we would have emergency.
Someone should do a parody in the Navy and have Frank, like walking, if anyone has AI, and it's like him in a sailor suit, and he's like, "In the Navy, in the Navy. That would be funny if someone wants something funny to do.
Procedures, emergency procedures where if this happens, you automatically do X. You don't think about it, you just do it. Obviously, airline pilots have the same kind of thing. You go right through your checklist. You don't think, you just do. You've practiced it so many times, you just do it.
That's rich.
Charlie drilled into Mikey's head. If anything happens to me, the first thing you do is call Erica. That's exactly what he did. He called Erica immediately.
The reason why we don't like Frank is because he's a freaking liar. Question, audience. Pop quiz. Who's the first person Mikey McCoy called? Pop quiz. Hurry, first one to get it wins something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Who's the first person Mikey McCoy called after Charlie was murdered? Yes. He called his wife, Elizabeth McCoy. Yes. Okay, next pop quiz. Get back here. Whoa, everyone. Oh, slow down. It started going really fast. Okay. How long was he on the phone with his wife before? And then I'll have another question. How long was he on the phone with his wife? No, it wasn't his daddy. It was his wife. How long was he on the phone with his wife? Dun, 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 dun. 3 minutes. Yes, Tiffinator. 3 minutes is correct. Ding, ding, ding. 200 points. All right. Okay. It was 3 minutes. And then next pop quiz question. How to phrase this? How do I phrase this? How did he call Erica? Kind of a trick question. I don't know how to phrase it without giving it away all the way. How did he end up calling Erica? He three-wayed Erica. Ding, ding, ding. 200 points. Like, what? It's moving too fast. Stop moving. Slow down. Where did it go? Wait, no, that was it. Yeah, he three-way called Erica. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, correct. So I don't know, Frank. If Charlie drilled it into him, I mean, I'm not going to say Charlie would have did a bad job. I don't think Charlie drilled it at all because this whole story is insane. This whole narrative, right? Not Erica's first three-way. That's funny, Peaches. Dang it, it's moving too fast. That's funny. Oh my gosh, it's moving. All right. So he calls his wife, doesn't call Erica. So Frank's lying, number one. Number two, he doesn't even hang up with his wife. He three-ways Erica. Okay, so I don't think that's what Charlie would have drilled in. Plus, Charlie didn't drill this in any way, shape, or form. And then pop quiz. Who did Mikey call next? Dun, 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 dun. Who did Mikey call next after he got off the three-way? He called his daddy. Yes, he called his daddy. Yes, he did. Okay, who did Mikey call next? Oh, that was quick. Well, I think that was I think that's an answer to the previous question. Who did he call after his daddy? Dun, dun, dun. Somebody mentioned it, but I think they got it in the wrong order. So, kind of Israel, the YMCA. No. Who did he call? The devil. BB. No. Ben Shapiro. Tel Aviv. JD. Yes. Ding, ding, ding. 200 points. All right. I love this community. You guys are great. I think some people are behind because they're still saying three-way. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. Yes, he called JD Vance after. Yes. Let's see. Alex Got Mittens. Alex Gut Mittens. We're still here, Matt. Top tier. I'm top tier. You're top tier too. God bless. Thank you. Granny loves Jesus. Include their faces on that Shilly for Philly money shirt. I will. I think that'll be, I'm taking suggestions as to shirts to make. Definitely, I think that's a funny one. Love it. All right, let's get back to Frank lying. A man of God, a man of the cloth. Liar. I'll make a shirt in the Navy, Frank saluting with his left hand because he's mentally challenged.
It wasn't one of the three options that Candace gave. It was the emergency procedure that she knew nothing about.
Why did you know about it?
The only reason I did what I did is because I thought about it beforehand. I was always worried what would happen.
Wait, what? This is important, you guys. Nobody has seen this interview. Frank just said the only reason why he did what he did that day was because he thought about it beforehand. That's weird. He's now going to explain that he's like, I always thought about what could happen to Charlie. I was always so worried that Charlie was going to get shot in the neck by a gay trans furry lover with a 30-06 from a rooftop 142 yards away. I thought about this every day, this exact scenario. So that's why I did what I did that day, because I saw it coming. And yet I let him go out there anyway. Because that's what good friends do. And then they film it. And then they film it. That's what Frank does. Yeah. Okay.
I was always worried that somebody would at some point take a shot at Charlie. And I said to myself, if I'm ever there,
I'm going to do the stop, drop, and roll. If I'm ever there, I'm going to scream like a little girl. I'm going to drop to all fours. I'm going to crawl like a little baby. I'm going to look really weird. What do I do? What do I do? And then I'm going to watch everyone else do absolutely nothing to save his life. I'm going to say nothing to them, but like, good job, you guys, doing nothing to save his life. Keep it up. And then they carry him like a bag of potatoes. And I don't help. I don't lend a hand. Nope. I watch them dangle him, no care for his body. And then I'm like, yeah, I need to be there in the car because I have to pray out loud the entire time. And then I'm going to do CPR. I'm going to do mouth to mouth and CPR, even though it's against all the training that Brian Harple has taken. And then I got to lie about it every day for the next 11 months. So I'm going to hop in the back hatch and be completely useless, just like every other day of my life. Frank Turek, everyone. Everyone, round of applause. Round of applause. Frank Turek, everybody. Amazing job.
Do something to help him, whatever that is.
Nothing.
Get to him somehow.
Nothing. You didn't.
And so as soon as the shot rang out, I took a step toward him.
No.
And then I thought there's probably more shots coming, and I ducked.
No.
And his men were already on him.
No, you dropped to the ground. Ducking is like you just duck. You drop to the ground, buddy. You were on all fours, a position that seems to be pretty, common for you. And it just came so naturally for you. Like the dog you are. Okay? And then you did nothing, Frank. Nothing.
I mean, there were 6 of them around him. At least 4 of them carried him to the car because they were the 4 in the car with me.
How, let me ask, how far away were you from him?
Where do they get all these gay guys? Where do they come from? These gay political men. He's got a wedding ring on. What in the world is going on? What did I just tune into?
When he was killed.
Probably 25 feet. I was off to his right. I was off his right elbow parallel to him. I was FaceTiming my son and daughter-in-law because they were big Charlie fans. And this was live. I'm like, hey, we're right here. And
because this was live. I was like, hey, we're right here. Oh my gosh, this is
so 25 feet maximum. And, all those stupid conspiracy theories. The man in the white hat, I was the guy in the white hat.
Yeah,
you
we
probably
know.
saw that.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. Like when I realized that.
This is what I'm saying, guys. When I realized it was you, I got out there and I was like, no, Frank and I, we're lovers. And so I know Frank very well. He would never do anything like this.
The guy in the white hat is my friend, Frank. I said, wow, are they getting this wrong? Like these,
but Eric,
these lunatics.
Even if you,
I didn't know if my impression was going to be good. It was spot on. I've never watched this guy before. I nailed it. That was the best impression I've ever done. He walked right into that one, man.
Even if you didn't know me, the whole theory's absurd. Like
even if you didn't know me, you should just trust because I do apologetics and I was in the Navy that I would never lie in the Navy. You let your friend die. You were there, buddy old pal.
Shooter 100, 200 yards away. First of all, if he's looking through a scope, he can't see me. I'm 25 feet off Charlie's right elbow.
Okay, I know thinking is hard. Stop it. Why did it do that? Hold on. I hate it when this sign does this. Wake up. I didn't say you could go to bed right now. We're not done yet. Frank, thinking is new for you. I get it. Let me help you out. We don't think anybody shot anything. Well, maybe someone else did. I don't know. But the person on the roof didn't have a rifle. Tyler Robinson wasn't the guy on the roof. Okay. So the signs that you for sure were given, because who does this and then pinch their cheek like this? Right before Dan Floodyo Powell steps forward and goes, you see that? You see that? And then the big bang, right? Don't forget the sequence of events when freaking Hunter Kozak gets up to the mic and he's like, Brian Harple, I'm about to ask the question. Prime the device. Prime the device. Sorry, yes, I know that we were talking, and normally in a one-to-one conversation with multiple volleys going back and forth, I should not break eye contact with you, but I have to signal the question is coming, in my opinion. And then the question gets uttered by Hunter Kozak, which sets off the sequence of signals. Frank Turek, Dan Flood, and then Brian Harple, in my opinion, is my opinions. Okay. And so, yeah, nobody was looking through a scope that day. Okay. It's also possible that many things happened all at the same time. If a gun was fired, I think there's more evidence that it was fired from in the crowd. People have done, audio analyses on the different audio videos from that day. And it looks like actually that the big bang comes from in the amphitheater. Some people have isolated it to be actually right near where George Zinn was standing, which is really weird, on that like second, third step of, the amphitheater by the fountain. And so probably a smaller, maybe handgun, maybe it even had a silencer on it and that the sound was projected through the speakers, but possibly also electrocution. I definitely think the mic exploded. The mic or the necklace, something caused the necklace to move first and violently fly over his head and snap mid-chain, not in the clasp. And then the shirt moves. So bizarre. Terminal ballistics. Go watch a high-speed camera film a 50 caliber round fly over a deck of cards, a pile of flour, and buy balloons. And a 50 cal is much bigger than a 30 caliber round, and it doesn't move any of it. It doesn't move any of it. There's not some tornado following a bullet as it flies through the air that's going to just make the shirt fly up and just do crazy things and the necklace fly off of his head. Something under the shirt did that, okay? And so whoever detonated that device would need some sort of a visual cue that, like, it's time, because, like, someone can't look at him and go, now, do it now, right? Non-verbal cue, and there has to be a step-down fashion, like 5, 4, 3, 2, boom. And that's what it looks like these signals were doing, because it all led right up to the Big Bang. Okay. And so, Frank, the fact that you like freaking retell it like, oh, because you're spouting the official story narrative BS that Tyler Robinson was on the Losi Center and shot around, like, who would have been, why were we signaling him? He knows that that's not what we're saying. That's what's crazy. He knows that that's not what we're saying. We don't think that Tyler Robinson did anything that day, dummy. Like, on the campus. At least I don't. I think he did other things. He wasn't on campus.
Oh, but secondly, why would he need anybody to signal him? He knows there's only one guy under the tent with a microphone, and that's Charlie Kirk. The whole thing is ridiculous. And yet the FBI, because the FBI checks into conspiracy theories, they won't tell you they're doing that. And I'll tell you why in a minute.
Oh.
But the FBI actually called me and they said, I know I have to ask you this. I know it's crazy, but were you signaling the shooter? And I said to him, yeah.
Wait. So the FBI starts out their official questioning of you with, hey, I know it's crazy. I know you do apologetics and you're totally a man of the cloth and you never lie. You would never be caught in anything nefarious, but this is just protocol. I'm sorry I have to call you, but were you signaling anybody that day? And then Frank makes a joke to the FBI agent.
I was telling him to steal second base. I mean, it's the dumbest thing in history.
No.
I mean, why would he need someone to signal him? It doesn't make any sense.
I just laid it out. Watch my content. I'll catch you up to speed, Frank. Okay? You tune into mine for actual truth and information. I'll keep tuning into yours for total BS.
But people come up with all sorts of crazy conspiracy
Well, Frank, part
theories.
of this, I just want to say,
Frank,
what really has grieved me.
What really has grieved me.
This guy. Who is this guy?
And again, this is spiritual warfare. This is
Sure it is
the
now.
darkness
Yeah.
of it, the evil around us. To see the gullibility.
Okay, I'll just tell you this. His hand placement is enough. I need to know that he's gay. Just that. He's just got his two hands together like this. I mean, there's other context clues. Everything else that's happening on camera right now, that's enough context clues for me, for this guy. But his hands together like this, like, straight guys don't sit like that. I've never put my hands like this and like on the table. Like, that's just not something straight guys do. Sorry. Okay, we're wide birthers, right? Like, our hands are out here, our legs are out here. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, dude. If you're going to try to sell it, maybe watch a bunch of straight guys and how their body language is before you get on camera trying to sell everyone that you're a straight heterosexual married man. You could do better. You could definitely do better. I don't know that you could do worse, but you could do better, buddy. Your TPUSA knowledge makes you the only one I trust to find the debates with the Andrew Wilson trained debaters. I call BS on the whole training debater story. Yeah. I think that he did do that, but I think it was a cover. He sucks, dude. He freaking sucks. I think they needed a way to exchange money to him and his wife. And now what's really insane is they're like, you did so good. We're going to hire you and your wife to run the women's event. And now we're going to give you more money. And now we have another plausible, deniable way to give you money that's not for the debate against Candace. and not for us giving you evidence and information that you're going to release on your show. Now we have two plausible forms of deniability. You trained the next crop of debaters, and now you and your wife are going to run the women's event. Here's the money for those things, not for this other thing that you're clearly doing on our behalf. Oh, but while you're down here training debaters, two birds with one stone. Yeah, sure. Why don't you just walk around questioning everybody? Because that's normal. Oh, why are you here, sir? Who are you? The people at TPUSA are probably like, who is this smelly dude? Bro's oily and needs to shower. Take a freaking breath, man. Are you smoking right now? Who's told him he could smoke inside the headquarters? What? He brought his crazy freaking hag of a wife with him. Like, why is she here? And they're just walking around questioning everyone. Can you tell me, was Charlie Kirk friends with Candace Owens? I walked around questioning everyone. Is Charlie Kirk friend? Was he still friends with Candace Owens? No. Okay. I knew it. Is anyone here involved in his assassination? Anyone? Bueller? No? Okay. There it is. Well, when you come down here and you ask people in good faith, they just give you the truth. Yeah. Anyone got any evidence? Evidence, please. Evidence that I could take back to my show and I can just dish out a drip, please. Evidence. Erica, please. Oh, Erica needs a hug. Erica, get your hands out of my hair. My wife's here. Please. I'm not JD Vance. Erica takes her hands out of Andrew Wilson's hair and she's like, what is on my hand? And then she's like, I'll just wipe it on his butt. And then she just wipes it off. And then Andrew's wife is like, did you say? I'm not going to make that joke. This is a family thing here. I have to keep it G. They don't keep it G. It's hard to keep it G when they're not keeping it G. Even Patrick Bet David Starr of David Starr sat like a dude in the great debate. Yeah, exactly. He's just like, I'm taking up all the real estate. Like, he's just like, I'm going to take up all the real estate here. Right? And you know, he was looking at Andrew like, bro, are you on Adderall? Did you take a bunch of uppers before you came in here? Why are you tweaking out in the seat right now? Are you in control of your foot? Can you make your foot stop, bro? Like, can you look like you've done this before? You told everyone you got hired by TPUSA, this $500 million organization, and that you're like the best debater, self-taught. Freaking A. Can you act like you're comfortable, please? Can you just pretend like you're not scared to do this? It doesn't look like truth is on your side. You're about to shake yourself out of your clothes and out of this chair. How about you just does someone have a Xanax he could take? He needs to chill out. Yeah. Oh, but truth is on his side. Yeah, he's confident. He's came in there. How confident are you, by the way? How confident are you? About 75, 85%. Okay. Oh, so not confident. Not confident. Okay. Back to the gay guy.
Of people, even people that I know and think well of,
this guy,
how quickly they get sucked into something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Their willingness to believe crazy stuff.
It's so crazy.
It's the same thing
It's
as when you
demonic.
encounter somebody that's watched a bunch of videos that the earth is flat. I want to smack them. Hey, idiot. What?
There's actually, I'm not a flat earther, but there's actually a lot of good arguments for it. I'm not a flat earther. I like Eddie Bravo. He created 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, pretty much like created no-gi jiu-jitsu. He's one of Joe Rogan's good friends. He's got some crazy ideas. All right. But there's actually a lot of crazy evidence that the earth is not the size they've told us, because they've done actual like measurements with like lasers over long distances where if the curvature of the earth was real based on the size and shape that they told us it is, the laser should not end up on the other piece on the other side, like miles and miles down the line. And yet it does. And there's pilots that fly way up there, high altitude pilots that go, yeah, we never saw the curvature of the earth. So I don't believe it's flat. I believe the earth is much bigger than they've told us. That's what I believe. Because that could account for the lack of the curvature being what they say it's supposed to be with the size they tell us it is. So I'm not a flat earther, but there is arguments out there. And for them to discount it like they're stupid is just shows how stupid they are.
But Eric, but they've watched a few videos. They've got their story.
Yes.
And you think, do I even engage in a conversation with this person? When it comes to some of the stuff that I've heard, I thought,
I know
this is just heartbreaking that there are people who did. I guess they never really learned how to think clearly.
Well,
like they are wonderful people, but they are sucked in.
We don't teach logic in school anymore. But let's steel man their case. There have been in recent years instances of authorities lying to us.
Yep.
So we are in an environment now where people think everybody's lying.
Okay, this is an important point.
Mm-hmm.
When the election was stolen in 2020, when the COVID stuff happened, we were told everybody has to get the shot, and that was when the scales fell from my eyes. And it really did change so much for me that I suddenly realized,
all right. Let's go to Frank's next statement. Oh my gosh, you talked for a long time.
Yes. Yeah. I heard it and he went right back. And I was on FaceTime with.
So that's not what happened. Charlie got hit and he went up. Charlie went up. And then he started to tilt over. And then Dan Flood said, "Hey, buddy, I'll help you." And pushes him off the seat. He doesn't go back at all. Like, at all. He doesn't go back. He goes up in his chair and he has the corticate posturing and his legs try to straighten up and his hands tighten up. And then he starts to fall. And then Dan Flood pushes him out of the chair. Frank, you weren't paying attention, buddy.
As I say, my son and my daughter-in-law, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but my daughter-in-law said, "You just said, no.
Oh.
And then it was seconds. They got him out on if you're looking at the tent, the right side of the tent, I'm on the left side of the tent. So I go behind the tent to meet with them behind it on the way to the car.
You don't meet with them.
And there's some video of this, you can see it. And then I got into the back of the car. So I'm perched over him. And that's when I said to the crowd at the memorial, he wasn't looking at me. He was looking right past me. His eyes were fixed. He was already with Jesus. Absolutely. But of course, we had to do what, we had to try.
We had to try CPR. This is where he lies again. We had to try. Couldn't just sit there and do nothing. I think my father-in-law showed up. What up, Pops? Frank Tourniquet. Love you, son. Thanks, Dad, for the super chat. Thanks for your funny puns. You're very punny. Play on words. Pops is here.
CPR, we had to try. You stop the bleed. People say there was no blood. It's so stupid. There was blood everywhere. I mean,
You got blood on you? Mikey got blood on him? Remember, Rob McCoy already corrected the record. He was incorrect. Mikey had no blood on him because Mikey was nowhere near Charlie at any moment when there was blood present. You were in the back of the car praying the entire time while Rick Cutler and Brian Harple were, who knows what they were actually doing, but supposedly putting in the gauze and holding on to one another. And yeah, you never touched him, bro. So why did you have blood on you?
Couldn't stop it, Eric. And
wait, so that doesn't make sense. He said that they were doing CPR but he just said that they couldn't stop the bleeding. Let that sink in. If they couldn't stop the bleeding, there's no way. I mean, there's no way in hell either way that Brian Harple would have allowed him to do CPR if he followed his training. But even more so, if Brian Harple never was able to stop the bleeding, he's not going to let you start pounding on his chest and blowing air down his airway. So, yeah, Frank, just continue lying. Go ahead, bud.
You know, this brings up so many things. First of all,
this guy,
my other dear friend, Rob McCoy. You talk about anybody that loved.
So there we go, guys. We know why this guy's doing what he's doing. His dear friend, Rob McCoy, who he loves. When we said three-way, we didn't know that we were talking about these three guys.
Charlie. And of course, his son is Mikey McCoy. Rob, I guess, misspoke at some point because there was blood on you. And then he says that, and then he references his son. So
nope. He already corrected the record and said he was wrong. Sorry, buddy. Nope. It's not because he was talking about Frank. He literally said he got off the phone with his son and his son had blood all over him. Also, Frank was in the back seat. He got in the back end. Okay. That means there's a bucket seat and then Charlie, Rick, and Brian in the captain chairs behind the driver and the passenger. Okay. Frank didn't get blood on him either, unless something else happened inside that SUV that they haven't told us, which is possible. It's possible.
Everybody says, well, Rob McCoy lied. He said there was blood all over Mikey.
He did lie.
And again, this is like one of these things when you know somebody, you're like, Rob McCoy is, first of all, he's not, that would be really stupid if you're going to lie like that. But I
we agree. It was stupid. It's just how brazen these idiots are, right? And you're so stupid, you don't even realize Frank is doing it right now on your show, which is allowing me the opportunity to do this show and point out how stupid and dishonest you are. And what, just because you know someone personally, that means you never believe that they could do anything wrong? Oh, because he's a pastor? He would never lie. He would never lie. But he'll shill for Israel. Shilly away. Shilly, Philly.
Also know the person. You're like, no, why? But people would hang their hat on that all day long. Like, well, there we have it. We have proof that he's part of something.
Well, not that by itself. We have a lot of other statements by all of these characters, and they all lied. Brian Harple lied. Frank Turk lied. Rob McCoy lied. Erica Kirk lied. Andrew Kolvet lied. Blake Neff lied. Jack Hibbs lied. Greg Laurie lied. Mikey McCoy lied. Jack Posobiec lied. Graham Allen lied. Brandon Tatum lied. Benny Johnson lied. Deanna Laish lied. Did I forget anyone? And the list goes on and on and on.
You know, and I thought, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Can I speak to that? Because Mikey just talked about it on the Charlie Kirk Show the other day. And
we'll find that one.
The main point here is this. Not every false statement is a lie.
Hold on. So if he's saying just the other day, and this was on December 1st, December 1st, 2025, what day of the week was that, ladies and gentlemen? December 1st was a Monday. So that would have had to have been the previous week, would have been the week of Thanksgiving. So November 24th through the 28th. And good thing I have access to all of the videos that are not available online. Mikey McCoy on Real America's Voice. We will find it.
Lie. And people think it is.
It is. It's a lie.
Rob was confused about what Mikey said when Mikey called and said he's been shot in the neck. There's blood everywhere. So he said something like that. And look, the three of us in the back seat, let me just say that we had to
Whoa, buddy. You were in the trunk. Maybe you climbed over into the back bucket seat. Rick is in the captain chair. Brian's in the captain chair. Charlie splayed out across. You're not all in the same spot. You're not. You're not in the back. You're in the back seat. They're not. They're not.
change our clothes, okay? Because we didn't want Erica seeing us. And so we were wearing hospital scrubs.
I thought that the hospital staff came up to you and was so shocked by your appearance that they offered you clothes. I also thought that another story was that you guys had to turn your clothes over as evidence. That was the other story once been told upon a time. Now it's just because you felt bad for Erica. You knew she was coming and you didn't want her to see you like that in your white shirt and your white hat and your clean jeans. It would look bad. I agree. It would look bad if she showed up and none of you had blood on you. And she was like, did any of you try to save him? I mean, she wouldn't have cared. She wasn't worried about saving his life, in my opinion.
By the time she got there, I threw away my clothes.
Oh.
And
destruction of evidence. Okay. You were in the car. We don't know where he actually died. We know where he was pronounced dead. You guys tell us that he died on the spot. Right. It's possible that he actually passed away in the car with you guys, which means the SUV is a crime scene too. And even if he died on the X at UVU, you're transferring him and you guys could have tampered with his body and his clothes and his phone and the necklace and your clothes to try to destroy or tamper with evidence. And you just admitted you threw away your clothes. So when the FBI called you and asked you about your hand signals, I'm guessing they didn't ask about your clothes. Okay. Yeah, they weren't really worried about evidence, were they? No. Chain of custody? No. Forensic analysis? No. Got it.
So Rob didn't understand who he thought maybe Mikey was too, because Mikey was there.
Oh.
Not every false statement is a lie. Just like there's this controversy now over drones.
Wait.
Because I said...
Wait. Not every false statement is a lie. But is every lie a false statement? Yes. Every lie is a false statement, though. I gotcha. Here's looking at you, kid.
We had some drone footage coming in.
Oh.
When, an hour out, Charlie got what I thought was drone footage on his because it was from above of the crowd. I said,
wow, look at him. He's got to correct that. We got drone footage, what I thought was drone footage because it was above and it was the crowd. All right, self-correct in the moment. Self-correct. All right, hold on.
Crowd is amazing. That's when I said to him, I said, Charlie, I don't like this place. There's too many buildings.
Too many roofs.
And he just shrugged it off because he's brave and he knew he had to have some level of risk in order to reach people, especially in an outdoor event.
He was ready to die. You guys all said that if Charlie was given the chance and the option by God, if he could come back and live and like raise his kids, or if God was like, but a lot of people came to Christ in your death, that Charlie would be like, yeah, no, I'll just stay here. Yeah, that's fine. You guys have no shame, dude.
So we went ahead with it. Well, I talked to Brian Harpool. He was in the car with me in the back. He was the head of security. It's on Sean Ryan's program. I said, was there a drone up before? He said there were no drones up during the event. He said the PR team may have put a drone up briefly before the event, just to get a shot of the crowd.
Yep.
But the other possibility is this, and I didn't know this
We got to
until we got there. Now that I think about it, there were people over us, Eric. There was a, I don't know, we're down in an amphitheater and there are people, I looked up, they were everywhere. That shot could have been taken from an iPhone from above us rather than a drone.
So you're just speculating right now. Put your hands down, Frank. Put your hands down, bro. So yeah, no one has clipped this ever. I don't know that anyone has ever seen this. This is where he just actually got himself in another bind. Because recently he actually lied and said there was no drones, none, and that he's doubled down on his claim that the video came from the walkway on the top of the Hall of Flags. Here he's saying he admits, because I think around 8 months ago when this video came out is around the time that Wolves in Finance got the cease and desist letter, and they went back and forth with the lawyers at TPUSA, and TPUSA admitted that there were drones that day. The security team got denied, but the media team got approved. And now he's saying that the media team only flew drones before the event. Right. So it was drone footage because Mikey was in the car with you as you guys pulled up, and he's head of the media department. And that's who would have been showing you and Charlie the drone footage of the event. So it was drone footage. Okay.
Right. So either there was a drone up early before the event, just a PR drone, not a surveillance drone, or that shot was taken by somebody on the team with an iPhone from above.
Right.
Neither was a lie. People will say, well, look, Harpool said there were no drones. Turek said there was a drone. It's one of them is a lie. No, neither are a lie.
How come every time there's a discrepancy in their narrative? So the CPR, the blood, literally, at what point, you guys, can they run out of this excuse that, like, just because it's a false statement doesn't mean it's a lie?
Rob McCoy just misspoke. He was talking about Frank's blood, and then he said his son was bloody. He didn't mean that. That doesn't mean he's lying. I said that we did CPR. Brian said that we didn't do CPR. That doesn't mean either of us are lying. I said that there were drones. Brian said there were no drones. Neither of us are lying.
At what point do we get to be like, are you guys just really, really dumb? Or do you think we're really dumb? Because we're just catching you in a lot of lies. You can't just keep saying you misspoke, you misremembered, I was confused, I was incorrect. Yeah, Evil just can't shut the heck up. I agree. Now, let me read this. Off topic. Did anyone see Andrew Wilson's post on X when he decided not to drop his fake text? All I can say is that TPUSA hit an all-time low. It is a shame. I won't repeat it here. Thank you so much. Just keeping the faith. Yeah, I showed it earlier, so it's here. But it's not actually like him saying he's not going to drop the text. It says the patience is finally about to pay off. You're almost there. At 9 p.m. Eastern, the faucet gets turned on. And you'll see it right here. It says 8:21. Oh, wait. Just kidding. Surprise. Sorry. Pulled a Baron. It happens at least once. Okay. I'm doing too much. Oh, there's the post I was talking about. Look at smelly cat right here. Look at Stinky Boy. Yep, that's what we think it smells like inside your house. It says here, the patience is finally about to pay off. You're almost there. 9 p.m. Eastern, the faucet gets turned on. 8/21/2026. That's today, right? But then if you click on it, it says 8/22. So we'll stand by. We'll be here tomorrow at 6 p.m. my time, and we'll be showing you for the liar that you are.
Okay. It was a misunderstanding. I wasn't at the event until I got there, but this footage came an hour before we got there.
I wasn't at the event until I got there. Yes, that's how it works. Because you're not God. You're not omnipresent. We know you weren't there until you got there. Thank you for spelling that out for us. But while you were driving there in the car with Mikey McCoy and Dan Flood and Charlie Kirk, you were looking at footage, drone footage on the phone.
Well,
I didn't know there was
again, you know, you're a master of logic. This is what you do. I don't even think I said it in my intro, but you're an apologist for the faith and you deal with evidence. And it's so interesting because, again, I was referencing a friend who said to me, oh, I have all these questions. And did you know? And, you know, throwing this stuff out that I guess was on some video, probably a Candace video that, well, they went to the wrong hospital. How do they know where the hospital? Like all those kinds of questions.
They did. Timpanogos was farther, and it's a lower level trauma center. That these aren't just at some point. You guys are so just stupid to think that we're all just going to keep believing that just all of these are just coincidences. You know. Hold on. Let me get to the next part where Frank opens his mouth.
Let me just say quick 3 things. Anything's possible, but not every possibility has evidence behind it.
Wow.
You could say an alien shot Charlie.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's possible.
Yeah.
But you need evidence if you're going to implicate somebody in a murder. You can't just say this is a possibility and therefore that guy then is guilty. This is why Mikey McCoy's getting death threats. Mikey McCoy, he won't even step on an ant. The kid is so docile and so friendly. You know, I get emails. You never.
Wait, he's so docile and so friendly. How was he so calm under pressure that day with all the blood and all the chaos? How does such a docile little teeny man that won't even step on an ant, but just the calmest under pressure, under fire, bullets flying and people dying, blood everywhere, and he's just like, except for, remember, Blake says, "I'll never forget." I'll never forget. His lip quivered. His lip his lip was moving like Andrew Wilson's foot. It just was going crazy. Okay.
You know what can happen to you. You need to repent. You know, repent. Like,
You should.
I'm going, what?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
You don't repent.
People believe this now. So that's point number 1. Secondly, not every false statement is a lie.
But
sometimes it could be, obviously it could be a lie. It could be just ignorance. It could be like, I didn't know there was an overhang above us. I didn't know somebody could have been up there with a.
Yeah, but hey, dummy, when you made the statement about the drones was after the event. So when you made the statement, you did know there was a breezeway. You did know the Hall of Flags was there because you walked under it, idiot. You didn't make the statement in the car. You didn't make the statement about the drones while you're on the grass. You made the statement weeks, days, months later, every time you got on camera. So you did know when you made the statement that there was an over walkway area there. Freaking idiot.
Video camera with
Such
their
a
iPhone
liar.
taking pictures from above to show us the crowd. I thought it was drone footage. Either that or there was a drone up earlier before the event, but legally there couldn't have been one up during the event. The third thing is that the prosecution, people don't understand how prosecutions work. The prosecution's job is not to quell internet conspiracy theories. The prosecution's job is to convict the real killer. And they will not tell you what they're doing in the prosecution for at least 3 reasons. Number 1, suppose they say we're investigating a second shooter. And they tell the public that. The public, if some guy comes forward and says, Mr. DA, I saw the second shooter. They don't know whether that guy really saw the second shooter or he just heard they're looking for a second shooter and the guy's trying to make a name for himself, right? So they keep all that quiet. Secondly, they can't taint the jury pool. Thirdly, they can't tip off the defense. And so
Sorry, I missed almost everything you just said. Did I miss anything good? I was responding to something. It's coming out of your mouth, Frank. It's lies. We don't understand the prosecution, but he's speaking like he is. Yeah. but wasn't thinking at the time to investigate. I didn't miss anything. Okay, cool. You guys tainted the heck out of the jury pool. Yep. Everyone's on the same page here with this schmuck.
Prosecution is not going to reveal what they have to reveal before they have to. And that's normally at a pretrial hearing, which is until January, or the trial itself. And how do I know this? Because my friend Jay Warner Wallace is a cold case homicide detective. He's prosecuted several homicides. And this is what he says. They cannot get out in front of the case. Their job is not to be a PR firm for the prosecution.
And yet that's exactly what they did. They actually got admonished for doing that. They leaked information to different publications and they got in trouble. Naughty. Oh, so you're friends with a former homicide detective. Oh, so you would know what evidence to destroy. You actually would know exactly what to do in the event of a homicide that you're present at. Wouldn't you, Frank?
Their job is to get the conviction of the real killer. And let me if you want to do what ifs and you want to say, well, people are acting strangely, Eric, do you think if Tyler Robinson was not the true killer, don't you think his parents would be screaming?
Nope.
You haven't heard a word from them. They were the ones that turned him in. Okay?
No, they're not. All right, you guys. I'm at my max time limit. We can finish this tool bag another day. We're at 3 hours. Did I get through all the super chats? I did. If anyone wants to get another one in, please get it in right now. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like and hit the subscribe. It's the best way to help support this channel for free. You can also, pretty please, write a comment, throw an emoji, and hype the video for free. And it helps. It helps a lot. And I appreciate it. I really do. I truly do. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay, nothing else came in. I haven't eaten, you guys. I'm lightheaded. I'm so hungry. My wife and kids went back to school shopping and they got me a burrito. But I went live an hour earlier because of Toolbag Andrew Wilson, thinking that he was going to actually do a show today. And so I know I have this amazing burrito waiting for me downstairs and my stomach is angry at me. God bless everyone here. Thank you, Matt. Good night. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Go eat food. Thank you. All right, you guys. Tomorrow we will be going live. And it will be at 6 because that's when Andrew Wilson says he's going to release the texts. But don't worry. I always have things. I'm going to be looking into that video on November 24th through 28th about Mikey McCoy supposedly dispelling the rumors about the blood. I'll also be looking up other videos in this exclusive Charlie Kirk archive from The Real America's Voice. And we can also finish listening to Frank Turkey Tourniquet and see what else he lies about. Okay. All right. I'm all caught up. Awesome. Love you guys. God bless you guys. Keep praying for Mystic. Okay. And I actually didn't get an update today. I need to text her and then I'll update you guys tomorrow. All right. God bless you guys. Oh, we just got another one. Wait, gift. Thank you for the gift. Mine, not yours. And then we have Max Frost. Did you get my email with the Brandon Straka link? The hit piece he did on Harrison Smith. To be honest, my email has been getting just blown up recently. Is it going to say, wait, what is your handle name? Is it going to say from Max Frost? Who's it? You don't want to tell me who it's going to be from. I will go back through it. Does it have like a subject? Does it say Harrison Smith hit piece by Brandon Straka? It does ring a bell. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many per day. How far back was it? Okay, I'll look into it. If I do this live, you guys are just going to be staring at my face. I'll definitely find it. Or if you can email me again right now with that link, and it'll be at the top of my email, and then I know what I'm looking for, and then I'll have it, and then I'll look at it. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. That would help. All right. And if you don't want to redo that, that's fine. It just, I have to sift through, and I don't know the date that you sent it. So I'll try to find it. All right. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Have a great night. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye.